Slap. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Zane N Lane, episode 4. Yeah.
How are y'all doing? We having a beautiful day today. Yeah.
Yeah, not a bad day today. A little bit of rain, not too much. How was your day overall, man?
My day was pretty good today. I had the last 2 days off. It was chill. Thankfully, I didn't have to recover too much from the hurricane. Didn't mess me up, so yeah. I just been chilling. Didn't have to do too much of recovery.
We should definitely get into that hurricane topic later.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah,
definitely.
That'll be a good thing to talk about with everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm doing well. Not really too much has changed from last week. Kind of the same old thing.
What you hit in the gym today?
Well, today I was supposed to do back and biceps, but I'll be honest, I didn't go. No, it's just kind of like by the time I got around to doing it, it was like 4:30, and dude, it's so packed on that side of Lafayette at 5 o'clock that I was like, dude, you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna just go back. I'm gonna just go in the morning and just smash it real hard.
I'm glad you said that. Kyle was saying that he went to that side, or he heard about that side, that Ambassador is a 1 lane right now.
Oh wow!
I haven't been down there in a minute.
Maybe so. Not that I've noticed, but to be honest, I haven't been taking Ambassador. I've been taking Camellia because, like, if I can avoid a Ambassador, I'm gonna do it at all cost. It's just a Chick-fil-A
waiting line.
Yeah,
all of Ambassadors.
100%.
Chick-fil-A waiting line.
Chick-fil-A and the mall. Like, there's any reason to go to the mall nowadays? I don't like the mall. We need to revamp our roads a good bit, but I don't know if we have the money to yet.
I think they're working on it. But did you go to the mall whenever you were a kid?
Yeah, a lot.
Like, do you remember when it was like a brick floor? And they had that water fountain and stuff in the middle? Yeah. This was like before even Aladdin's Castle and all that stuff.
I remember they had a lot of different textures on the floor. Like, it changed a lot. And
actually,
they had the big old fountain in the very middle.
Yeah.
I miss the big fountain. I miss the noise of it.
You know what? The last thing I wished for in that fountain is I wished for an Xbox 360. Like, somehow an Xbox 360 would come into my life. And then not too long after that, my mom got married, and his son had an Xbox 360. My stepdad's son had an Xbox 360. He just like left it at my mom's house, and that was like dope.
Yoink!
Yeah, like, I mean, like, he took it back whenever he left, but that was actually cool. Like, it made sense. It worked. My wish worked, you know?
He was like, I do believe in God. Thank you.
Well, it was just a wish.
Yeah.
You ever made a wish?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of wishes, I guess.
What's a wish you're comfortable with sharing? Not your latest one, because it's probably your birthday wish. Don't share that one.
No, to be honest, like, I don't wish for too much anymore. Like, I'm not a very big, like, gambler. Like, if I want something, I know that it takes a certain amount of effort to get it.
Yeah.
And otherwise, it's like, I'm not going to give myself that false hope of like, oh, I wish that I get this unimaginable thing that I'm not going to do any work for. Oh, like, because then I feel like I get left down if I don't get my wish. I mean, it's nice to wonder and it's nice to wish, but I don't know. Like, I don't gamble because, like, yeah, it's cool to hit the jackpot, but I'm never gonna hit the jackpot. So fuck it. Like, why waste my money throwing it in the wishing well? You feel me?
It was a penny.
Yeah, it's a penny. I know it's a penny, but maybe like that's why I don't know. Maybe I value my wishes more.
That's why I had to wear the penny loafers when I was a kid.
Yeah, there you go. He took the penny out his shoe as a kid to make a wish.
I did not do that, but that's actually I remember trying to pry them out. Anyway, do you believe in like, are you very superstitious? Because you said that you didn't want to, like, get your hopes up and all, like, the wish thing.
Superstitious in the sense of, like, how do I think that, like, we're constantly being manipulated?
No. In the sense that, like, do you, like, try not to walk under a ladder? Don't let the black cat pull.
No, I'm not
7 years bad luck. No.
I think
I've always been that way.
I think if there's anything I've learned is the older people have always said some stories that were just not true.
The old wives' tales or whatever?
Yeah, old wives' tales, just to, like, fuck with people.
Wait,
just
what you said?
I mean, look at all the...
What'd you call it?
Wives' tales?
See, I want to look this up, because I'm pretty sure I used to call it old wives' tales, but then someone told me it was old wives' tales.
No, it's wise tales, because it's the wise people that know them. It's the tales of the wise.
I thought that, people. And then somebody made me feel stupid. Just like, I got a few of those things I would just call it, like, chest of drawers. When I was a kid, I would call them chest of drawers.
It is a chest of drawer.
It's a chest of drawers.
Really?
Yeah, you know what else I used to say? We
Really?
Yeah, because I used to say the ghost was clear instead of the coast was clear. Because right, it made sense because the ghost was clear.
The ghost is clear.
And then
Like he's made of glass. He's transparent.
well, like Casper the ghost is like translucent, right?
Yeah,
so
but like that's so
the ghost
funny.
is clear, and like I thought it meant it was good to go because the ghost was clear. Obviously, yeah, it's green as go.
So it was obvious.
And then the
like,
last one I can think of,
dude, that's
I used to
fucking
say,
funny. That is hilarious.
you know, the fetal position.
Yeah.
I used to say the beetle
the
position.
beetle position because he kind of just balled up.
Just my brain trying to make sense of things I didn't really like pay attention to.
You know what that reminds me of?
Huh?
How like people have different versions of lyrics for songs that they just hear and they thought it sounded right. So like they put that word in.
Yeah.
I can't think of a good song, but
You remember back in the day, like
Let's see,
early
like-
of YouTube, there used to be like the misheard lyrics guy.
yeah.
And instead of like dance, like whatever, it's Fall Out Boy. He said something like Ted's pants, and he like made this
Ted's
whole
pants.
Ted's pants, and like made this whole like YouTube channel off of that before YouTube was monetized. People were just giving away content.
They were
It's
back in the
crazy.
gap.
But back to it, it is sorry to disappoint you. It's Old Wives' Tales.
Old wives' tales
Yeah.
have stood the test of time. So it's like the old ladies used to tell the stories because like
So I'm just going to read. Old wives' tales have stood the test of time, regardless of whether they have proven to be true. They originated long before pen and paper, and we've clung to these tales surrounding pregnancy, even when medicine and technology have contradicted them. So I guess it all stems.
old wives.
Okay, old wives' tale is a supposed truth, which is actually spurious or a superstition. Here we go again with the damn words.
Yeah.
It can be said sometimes to be a type of urban legend. So basically, like things that like it's saying, literally it's saying right here that like
I know what
wives
it
were
is.
passing it down.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh, wives are just talking.
The women would
Right.
have their stories, the nighttime stories to kids and whatnot. I see that.
Right. But where were we at? Superstition.
Oh yeah.
Which you don't have a single one you believe in?
No, not at all.
You know what? Like I feel like this constant one for me
Or maybe
is
like no, nothing.
nothing at all. You would go break that mirror right now?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe breaking a mirror, but then I was literally like, no, I'll break that mirror right now. I don't even care. Yeah,
Walk under a ladder like on purpose?
yeah.
Would
I've
you
done it
shimmy
on
under the
purpose.
ladder?
Yeah,
Would you
I have
limbo
done
under
it
the ladder?
as on purpose just to be like a smart fuck. Like I'm that person like, what's he gonna do to me? Huh? What? Watch. Let's see. I'm not in your room. I'm
like
not in
to-
here, and
see,
you like got your toe next to the
That's
edge.
testing faith right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I feel like. But one I still,
Destination.
dude, that's some crazy ass shows. You know, like remind me of that because I got a little story to tell you one time or a little bit. But one of my like superstitions I have, I guess, is like I feel like if something's about to happen and I tell a whole bunch of people for whatever reason it doesn't happen. I hate that. So like just with this. Like
With
all
the
the
pod.
situations I've been telling you about with pod and things I'm not even going to list on here because maybe they won't happen if I tell everybody. Like I'm very superstitious about that. Nothing even major, just like cool things that could be happening. You know, like for example, it'd be like, oh, I'm going to watch my favorite band like this coming week and I talk about it all the time. Somehow they would cancel the show. Somebody would catch, I don't know,
I get that.
COVID or some shit and not be able to perform, like some weird shit like that.
Yeah, I guess I think of it in the opposite sense of like instead of being superstitious in the way that like you could somehow change faith by interacting with it an idea, I believe that you can create faith by interacting it with idea. Like instead of saying like I want these things to happen, you say like just straight up be like I'm gonna make these things happen.
So like manifest
instead of being like I wanna get a ripped body or I want to have this happen or I want to like start a podcast or I want to do this. You wake up and you say, I'm doing this. I'm going to the gym. I'm going work on the podcast. I'm going, you know what I'm saying, work on the car. I'm going find an outfit for the thing that I need. Like you just have to make it an action and just be like, it's going to get done. If it doesn't get done as like well as I wanted to get it done, then so be it. But it's getting done. And then I can worry about getting it done again if we need to. But see what I'm saying? See where I'm kind of coming from?
Like, it's not like, you would say you're not very like, not faith-based, but like, I guess not superstitious at all. Is what you're saying? It sounds like if you want it, like put that step in motion. Don't like wish for it.
Manifest. Like you can manifest. Yeah, kind of like I guess superstition is manifesting bad luck.
I think it's being aware of what could bring worse things into your life, like especially if you're paranoid and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and I think that's where it stems from. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, we don't like whoever talks about superstition. That's why it's interesting because like we don't know. That's the funny part. That's the cool part, though.
Final Destination. Back to that.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, a mutual friend of ours was driving us. Caitlin was driving me to Lafayette. Mm-hmm. She was going to get like some glasses or something like that. Like, trying to remember the exact story. Oh, we were like leaving early from like band practice, and she wanted someone to go with her to the mall. Actually, back to the mall. It's all typical. And she was getting like some new frames for her glasses or whatever. And we were in the turning lane to go, I think it was turn on the Johnson Street from Ambassador, but we missed the turning lane. Instead, we stayed on Ambassador and we had to make a loop around. But literally, as the light turned red, there was an 18-wheeler where we would have been, and it took off. And all its logs fell out the back of it, and this lumber and shit fell out the back of it. And I was just like, holy fuck.
Like, y'all would have been there and you would have died. Like,
I don't know about died, but it would have fucked up the car. We would have definitely slammed into it, you know?
Dang.
But like the scene in Final Destination.
Yeah.
You ever seen the one where they're in the gym, in the high school gym, and it's got like those fake swords or whatever above the workout equipment?
Yeah.
And something happens, and then the swords fucking swing and cut dude's head off? Is that what's going to happen?
Probably why nobody ever has a sword hanging on their wall anymore. Because like they were like, the sword can only kill someone if we give it potential energy. Let's hang it up high where it can fall and stab somebody.
Turn that shit kinetic real quick. You know what's funny that you said no one has swords hanging? When I first moved into this apartment, and it was fun.
No.
It was
no.
But it was finally like I had a blank canvas and so much wall space. I was looking around. I was like, yeah, I can have some sword. I knew exactly.
Yeah. Like on How I Met Your Mother.
I don't know. I didn't really watch that.
Oh, dude. They had him and his roommate, the two main characters, had each a sword that they got from the Renaissance Festival that they had hanging like in a cross on the I think it was above like their
sword fighting joke.
No, they just had it hanging there whenever like they went to
the furnace or something.
Yeah, above the furnace, I guess the fireplace.
Yeah.
And he just had an episode where they just started fucking fighting with him because he had to move out or something. He was moving in with his wife, and he was like, "We can't. Are you gonna take your sword? I'm gonna take mine." He was like, they have to be together. How can they can't hang individually? And it just like
it's
had
one
like
of those things
fight.
That had just been in the background the whole time. They probably never addressed it.
No, never. And then eventually they just had like an episode about it. It was just like an impromptu random. It's just I feel like that was a very like 80s to 2000 like bro thing to have in your room, like a frat dude.
That's why I didn't put it because I was like, man, like the sword from like Zelda or like the sword from like Sword Art Online, like. Would have been dope, like both of them.
Yeah.
Or like even on 3 of those motherfuckers. Like
I still think it's crazy how much like
but also,
video games is like normalized into our culture to the point that like
it has to be.
Well, yeah, but to the point where like we would never get a real sword hanging on our wall. But if you can get me a real replica of Link's sword or like one of these other badass swords, like I mean, from any of the fucking cool ass especially the retro video games. Boy, would that be popping.
They do have cool. Those. You can buy them. I was looking at them from like Etsy.
What I'm saying is everyone 45 and up is probably still just like, damn, video games, that's some dumb fucking waste of time shit. But it's just like so ingrained in our culture because that's what we did our entire life.
Yeah.
And that's like our superheroes, you know, like that's who we look up to. That's our like our symbol or our figure that we got to take shape of as a kid.
Escape.
Yeah, right? Escape and like do all these good things. You were this noble warrior that did all this and like you saved the queen, the princess or whatever.
It's
funny
that you say that, not to cut you off, but I definitely used to run around with my arms behind my back like I was Sonic the Hedgehog because I love him. Like just like Naruto runs, but Sonic does that into the old games. And I would run around with my neighbor and like I was a fucking child, but like that shit is funny that you said that.
I think it's just cool how like we've figured out how to make toys still interesting for adults. Like do you know who Coinslot is?
Coinslot.
He's like an artist that he kind of does like a lot of like cartoon art, But anyway, like regardless, there's a lot of them. Like they have just artists that are making these like cartoon
Sculptures?
like pop arts or all these
the
like
vinyl
pop figures or these vinyl figures or all this stuff.
yeah. Like
And,
Cause.
yeah, just like with a lot of different brands are doing that, or they're collabing. It's cool how we figured out a way to monetize and keep cool like toys in a sense. You know, like,
no, it's definitely like just like some of this like Chinatown shit and the Chinatown rug I got.
Look at the
which isn't Chinatown Market anymore. It's Market now.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Which is cool. That's something we could talk about. Like, I mean, just real quick, the company that made this, or Chinatown Market, for whoever knows, they actually changed their company logo or name to just China or just Market. Sorry, they took out the Chinatown because they didn't want to be. What's the word I'm looking for?
It's just offensive. So it all started whenever like it's kind of like when all like the racial like.
All the Asian hate that was going on.
No, definitely, because it started. I think it stemmed from COVID, if I remember correctly. Like, and it was just like racism, and then like all the COVID, and then all like the Asian hate that was going on. They were like, "Yo, like this is why we named it Chinatown Market, because we like is paying homage to like the market and area of town we used to hang around in, something like that." And like we just called it that, and nobody said it was offensive or anything like that to them. Like all the clientele like knew that there was definitely a multicultural business where like everyone was involved, and they were very like for the most part like forward with all that stuff, but they still went ahead and said, hey, we're still going to change the name because we find that it's not appropriate. We feel like we are taking someone else's identity or whatever.
And for like
and so for like 3 months, all the profits, like from the time they announced that to the actual change, all the profits they made from everything went to like anti-Asian hate organizations. What's the word I'm looking for? Charities. Sorry, that word lost my mind. But so they donated like almost all their profits, and then they had like one giant physical sale where they went get rid of every piece of clothing that they had and everything that had Chinatown, and now it's just Market, which is cool because I still have got some of their old pieces and stuff like that in there.
Yeah, I like it. I like that they made the R in Market the what is it, the copyright symbol?
Yeah. So no, it's registered.
Oh, the registered symbol. Yeah,
and no, it's not on all their shirts, but I think that's like their official way of doing it, and that's pretty cool.
I think it's cool.
I don't know how legally that works.
I think you can. I don't see why not.
It's like freaking it.
Yeah,
they freaked it.
It's like the word Nike, but instead of putting like I, you put a check for the
What's
I.
really cool about that is that it came full circle. Because they released a capsule that was CTM like Chinatown Market, but it was the C from copyright and the TM from trademark.
Oh yeah.
Watch, I'll show you real quick.
See, like I think that's so dope doing stuff like that, like figuring out a way to, like I guess would that be like micro efficiency with brand logoing? It's like figuring out a way to put the biggest message in the smallest, sleekest, like most. Just like
check this out. Like this is
nice design. Yeah, like, that's really cool.
Chinatown.
It kind of looks like a Cubs, like a Chicago Bears. Like imagine a Chicago Bears like Chinatown Market TM thing like that.
What you were saying though about what did you say? Micro what?
Like micro efficiency in like a logo. Like you want something that's small.
Isn't that the trend now that what people like all these brands are like what is it? Super minimalistic or whatever, like minimalistic approaches. And I think like all the brands are doing it right now, and I think it looks really stupid. Like
no, I think it's there's something clever in having something that's very, very easily comprehensible, but has such a big like message behind it. Like look
like the M on McDonald's.
The M on McDonald's, the check for Nike.
Yeah.
The three stripes for Adidas. Like you look at that and it's so simple that immediately
it's iconic.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
And it has so much behind it. Like it has an entire movement behind it, an entire like culture, an entire history. Like it's not just buy this brand. It's not just like Abercrombie and Fitch's little like moose or like a little.
It's like a flag in a sense.
Yeah, it symbolizes like an entire, I guess, pop culture of just that one brand, obviously of that one look. But it's intriguing. Like I like the fleur-de-lis. I feel like the fleur-de-lis is a fire-ass symbol.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know the exact origin of it, but I know it has.
I don't exactly either, but I know it has like a lot of meaning in it, and it has a lot of different.
You should look that up and like, talk about it because I'm actually curious, and I feel like that'd be interesting. Yeah. I know it. I'm pretty sure it has it's like a Catholic-based thing. Something like that. It was a logo. It stands for something. And I'll be honest, like we're gonna sound stupid, but to be honest, like the most thing people associate it with now is just New Orleans and the Saints.
Yeah.
Like, probably, like, my mom would be able to tell me everything about it. Like, she loves fleur-de-lis. I think it's a version of a cross, maybe.
Flower de luce, symbolized emblem or device, much used in ornamentation and particularly in heraldry, long associated with the French crown. So maybe it's a French. Well, it's obviously a French word, so we know that.
What does it translate to?
Through the legend of fleur de lis came to symbolize life, perfection, and life. Clovis, use of the fleur de lis symbol of a successful reign. Blah 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 blah.
All right, so basically that nobody knows.
Yeah,
tell us in the comments. Tell you what, we tried. And tell us in the comments if you know, because it's actually pretty interesting. Like, if you can link something, somebody can link something to it. We'll talk about it next podcast. Because I feel like, I mean, it's in the Acadian flag. It's everywhere. A lot of people have them tattooed and stuff like that. But what does it actually mean?
I mean, it's a royal French symbol is what they're saying.
Right.
That was just adopted around the time.
Yeah, see, so it's like...
I think it's literally trying to say, like, ornamental flower. Like...
Right, but what is that flower exactly? Like, what? I'm sure like every piece of it means something.
Yeah.
Somebody drop something in the comments this next one. Tell you what, to get off of this, I did want to loop all the way back to what you were saying. Maybe you can bring it back up again. Oh, it is Christian.
It's the Christian, yeah. Stuff.
So you were saying that parents like, or maybe people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe didn't really see the value in video games and stuff like that, and they still kind of look down on it.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy has been the total flip that social media has done, especially like Facebook, how like the older generations like really, really, really value it now. They love it. They never get off Facebook.
Yeah.
And it was always get off Facebook, all this stuff. And we're trying to explain to them, hey, no, I can talk to all my friends. And they were like, no, go see your friends outside. And now they see, and it's really cool because they're like Facebook has this whole community of just like older folks that just able to easily communicate with each other, easily message each other, easily like buy stuff from online, just learn about everyone's life without actually calling them, seeing them day to day. Now, what's crazy is whenever I see like my parents or like my mom going through, or anyone really, not specifically her, like older people going through Facebook drama that we went through like when we were in like high school and below. It's funny, like, oh, you unfriended me, or I'm not in your top friends.
It's like,
or you're liking this person's pictures.
They have very low internet emotional maturity. And like you know how you'll see something on your Instagram and you'll be like, ooh, that's crazy. Like, I might agree or disagree with that, but I'm not going to repost that because that's just hella controversial. And I don't need people. Yeah. Them motherfuckers will just post that shit because they'd be like, that's my page. You don't like it? Fuck you.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but bro, you don't have to scream it that loud.
So they use it like, remember how we used to use MySpace and like our MySpace pages would be whatever the fuck we wanted, and it didn't matter.
It was very selfish.
So that's how they use Facebook. You'd get on my MySpace page and like Mayday Parade or some shit would like automatically Mayday start playing like
Black
AFI or like something was playing. Maybe even some like Foo Fighters or Linkin Park or some shit, but like it would start playing immediately.
Yeah.
And then like it would be all like the neon puff print, like monster shit.
Monster
not even like the Monster Energy, but I mean like, so like in the metal community, and like it was this whole thing where the neon monsters were all over every shirt. You probably remember those, like My Chemical Romance shirts and all that shit that people had.
Yeah,
I used to have a bunch of them. I used to want them anyway. I don't know where we got to that, but maybe that's how they're using Facebook now. Like you said, they're on their page. What the fuck does it matter if you don't like what I see? But they don't see that.
Yeah, well, I think it's important to, like, when you're an adult already, I don't care about what people think about me already. You know what I'm saying? I'm at that point where the middle school and high school social awkwardness of me caring about what I say and how I kind of affect people generally, you know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of have to not care as an adult. That's how you get on that day to day, and you don't just continuously compare yourself from one person to the next. You know what I'm saying? But like, I feel like you needed to start social media at a young age and learn to not bully everyone and not just be this boastful like opinion screamer. I don't know.
What's crazy about all that is like, you remember where the internet was like in 2009? Like, we just like the internet like was not mature at all. It was just like the most offensive shit it was like you could possibly say, and that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah,
like, but we didn't know it.
That's why we have such thick skin. That's why we don't complain about the internet, and the people 5-10 years younger than us really do complain about
PC
the internet
culture.
because like,
but it makes sense because like I mean honestly, like the more I grow, like the least people I want to offend, like the least people I want to bother. Even if I disagree with them, I don't want to be like, yo, like blah blah blah. I don't care. If
school was anything like it was for us, like holy shit, we got to keep progressing because god damn, dude, we got called so much crazy shit as kids, and we called each other so much crazy shit, and it was kind of like okay, like. It was okay to clown each other because everybody knew it was like kidding. Yeah. But then we grew up and we realized that holy shit, all these people are getting all these mental issues and all these mental health problems because we're allowing the kids to just bully each other and treat each other like shit. Like it's not good, you know. Like we have thick skin, nobody can hurt us, but now we have to deal with all these mental health issues too at the same time. So like, it was a very fight or flight thing. It wasn't a very like. All-inclusive thing because also the more time goes on and I'm studying kids more days as people are, I don't want to say sheltered, but people are not having to deal with the idiocracy as much in the world, or hopefully not as much. And most people are just soft, nice, nerdy people. Like most people are clownable, I guess is what I want to say. Does that make sense? Like, I am clownable. You are clownable. Like, me is clownable.
Like most people can take a joke.
Well, no, not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we all have something bad about us. Yeah. So why are we all trying to point out the bad things in all of us? Like, and also, I'm not trying to be kind of hypocritical. I am a douchebag sometimes. I would say some mean shit to people. Yeah. But also, like, I take it back. But that's not also good. Like, we don't need to just be hard because we were taught to be. You feel me? Like,
I feel like people are like that now because I don't know, like what we went through, you know, like what this generation went through on the internet is crazy. And it's like, it's crazy that it was so allowed and it doesn't make it right. Like none of it was right. No, yeah. Like none of like the stupid like shit we would joke. Like, look how the baby says something now and gets canceled. But then like, it was all like a joke back then. Like that was like the internet joke. And it's like, I don't even want to say the word now. Like, I don't want to offend people with like, so it's like.
But that's what you grew up, your dad calling you in the kitchen when you didn't want to eat your whole sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Like, he threw the F word at you.
I even want to get on the dad topics today. You know, I got enough of those issues as it is.
Hey.
One silly thing to bring to you.
Yeah, bring it.
Toss the podcast back to you because it's like a chill day today. Yeah. We were supposed to shoot yesterday. And then the tail end of that storm came through, and maybe we should get back after this topic. You can take it wherever, but we should probably get back into the hurricane.
Yeah, I think the hurricane would be a good next topic.
So, like, it threw a little bit of weather, like, at us, I guess, at the last end. And, like, for 30 minutes yesterday, it was, like, torrential downpour. We were like, yo, let's just not do the podcast today. And we made that decision. And then 10 minutes later, it cleared up. It was absolutely perfect. And I was like, dude, I'm just tired. I don't feel like doing it. But I still wanted to put the content out. So we're just doing it a day later. But, all right. So, one more thing before I get off this. Speaking about all the social media things, we were talking earlier and I had a discussion with one of my friends and we were just like had an epiphany one night. We're still trying to find direction here and like what it's about and stuff like that. It's basically just like our lives right now.
You're talking about our podcast?
Yeah.
Like what our topic banner?
So not even that, but like what the theme is. You know, everyone needs a theme and there's a moment of transparency. Like I really don't feel like we need a specific theme, right? We're not trying to be the gamer podcast. We're not trying to be whatever. We're just like two normal people that just like to talk a lot, like way too much. So it's like we should have a podcast because all we do is talk. And we've been talking about this for 5+ years now. Yeah. We finally did it. But basically we kind of discovered that it's basically me and Zane's like social media digest right now currently. Like we're seeing whatever we would see normally through the internet or news or social media and we're just kind of reporting on it, not like trying to be the most factual or whatever. It's just things we find interesting to talk about. The same conversations we would have anyway.
Yeah, same. Yeah, exactly. It's just our views and our opinion and our just immediate digest of like what's going on around us in this moment. Our current, issues that are happening in the world, shit like the Afghanistan or COVID or like the hurricane that we're going to talk about.
And what makes it really cool,
obviously, whenever we bring in people and we have guests, obviously the guest like that's going to control the episode. You know what I'm saying? Whoever they bring to the table is going to control the episode and dictate But
so for now, it's just it's Zane N Lane. That's why it's named that. It's just like what we do, what we talk about.
And that's why we were hesitant to put the podcast title on the Zane N Lane too, because we kind of want to go anywhere with it. We're not exactly sure where it's going to go. Like, this is podcast, but Zane N Lane might do something else. You know what I'm saying? You don't know.
That's the peek inside of our brain. Or inside the machine segment right there.
Yeah.
What was I saying? God, I forgot where I was going with everything. Fuck it. I'm just going to show you this funny ass, like, social media. Yeah. Oh, social media. I'm a fucking genius, bro. I'm a genius. I got it. So I wanted to say what's kind of cool about it is we both like different social media platforms. Like, so we get to see things from different, like, perspectives. Like, yeah, we use them all, but our preferred one, like Zane's preferred one, is Twitter, right?
Yeah, probably.
And then like mine's like Instagram. I like Instagram and I like Reddit a lot.
Why do you like Instagram the most?
I talked about this with Kyle in that podcast. It's basically how the way it's set up. It's like it's the one I've been using the most consistently for the longest time since like 2012, 2013. I feel like the way everything is very well set up. And I've already kind of gone over this, and I feel like I've exhausted this topic already. It's the operating system of it. I explained it to Kyle as, you know, when you go on the Netflix and you're searching for something, you know exactly how to search for it, where it's at.
Because you know exactly where everything is.
And then you go to Hulu, and you don't really know how to operate it. I think it's like Windows versus Mac, right? Yeah. So Windows works better for me. And I love it, and I know where everything is, and it's a very efficient, laid out operating system. And I feel like that's how Instagram is. It's set up very well. I know how to do exactly what I want to do. If I want to do something in the settings, change a bio, everything is just navigate. And yes, if I spend a little bit more time on Twitter, I would get it. But it's just like never something that was always appealing to me.
Yeah. And I will say, like, as far as Instagram goes, for me, the biggest appealing thing to it, and I think the reason you like it, is it's kind of the only social media that has every social media stuff kind of together.
Oh, it is.
You see some TikToks on it. It has its own reels. You see all the pictures.
Screenshot of tweets.
It has all the videos. Like, people will post hour-long things, like all these different companies and different that. It's constantly being advertised, and like.
Let me speak for one thing I like about it that I just kind of realized.
I think Instagram's the best like advertisement social media.
Continue, they tried to stop that whenever they took away the number of likes and all that stuff, so companies couldn't see that. But before we dive into that, I want to talk about this. Like, the reason I think I really like it, it's like it's almost like reading a blog, right?
Yeah.
It's like all these people you follow. It's like Tumblr. It's the most like Tumblr, I guess. And that's why I really like it, because I really used to fuck with Tumblr. Tumblr was like Instagram and Twitter mixed. But now that it's not really, it's pretty much dead. Like, people don't use it anymore. Yeah. I think I like Instagram the most because it's like, I'm subscribing to people's blogs, right? I'm looking at their pictures. I'm looking at their stories. I'm looking at their highlights. I'm looking at...
They're posting more than just a picture.
Yeah, like, it's not... And that's how Twitter, it started.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I guess the reason I prefer Twitter over Instagram is because I feel like they're very similar in the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like, but instead of Instagram being picture based like it is, and like if you're gonna show me text, it's gonna be like a picture of text.
Yeah.
Twitter is just text based, and then it'll come with pictures as well. If people upload the pictures or they upload the videos, and I can follow like a news source, and they can post an entire like an article of words talking about the whole thing, and then put me a picture of Hurricane Ida underneath it. So like I can get a lot of information out of it instead of it just being like picture, and I have to digest the pictures completely. I like the pictures, don't get me wrong.
It's like
but
readable information.
Yeah, and I feel like I can follow all these news sources. I can follow all these random people, all these artists. I can follow literally every company and every person.
Which is the same across any one, but you like the way it's it's presented there. You know what?
It's fast paced. As soon as something happens, and the company can tweet it, and they'll be like, servers down. Like, for example, if you're gaming and the games aren't working or whatever, I'll go to Activision's Twitter, and they'll immediately have something. Like, instant news source. So updated. Like,
I feel like the whole thing you said about how it's just, well, maybe you didn't even talk about this, but I feel like one of the reasons people like Twitter so much is because it's a community. And maybe this is kind of me like speaking from the outside looking in. I realize that it's so easy to retweet somebody or like start like basically a Twitter poll or anything like that where people have instant contact with each other, almost like we did on MySpace or Facebook or stuff like that, and that it creates these whole, like, you have like the whole shea butter Twitter, or like this cancel culture Twitter, or this Twitter or that Twitter. It's these whole segments of it. It's very much like Reddit.
Yeah, it's like a Reddit.
Yeah, it creates these communities because they're so easy to communicate with and keeping up with.
I love retweet. I think the retweet, like, if I could retweet on Instagram, Instagram would be the best app. Retweeting is why I love TikTok. I love to be able to see something.
It's why you left it, or why you loved it?
No, it's why I love it.
Oh, I thought you said why you left it.
I love to be able to see information that people didn't already decide is popular and cool, and that's why I'm seeing it.
Oh, you super hipster.
No, but you get what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Like, when I see something on my feed that already has 500,000 likes on it and stuff, I'm seeing it because it has 500,000 likes, not because it's something interesting that I need to know, or that, like, I just so happen to, like, newly digest. It's like it's forcing me to see that content because it was already popular, not because it was tailored to me and it was something that I like needed to see or wanted to see.
So basically what he's saying is y'all content that y'all are what's the word? Absorbing, right? Taking in is purely based on our algorithms.
I mean, kind of.
Look, like, Instagram, whatever, Google, they're all in charge of this podcast. This is the Instagram or social media digest podcast. Basically, the algorithms control the topics. If you think about it, the algorithm controls what you see.
And Mother Nature.
You really want to get into this hurricane, huh? Well, let's get into it, but let me show you this. Good time. Like, I need to pass the podcast off to you because like I'm feeling like a chill day. Like I said, it's chill. Yeah. But I just need to get this off because I've been thinking about this and wanting to show it to you all week long. Hey. Have you seen this? Yeah. So it's the dude that it's I think it's a Houston it's like the Houston police officer that looks exactly like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
He almost looks better than The Rock. Insert picture now.
Have you ever seen like a doppelganger that someone says looks like you and you think it looks better than you? It's never happens.
To be honest,
but
like,
what you're saying is he looks better than The Rock.
I think he looks better than The Rock.
That's like, dude, so I swear to God, like, I was looking the other day. I was like, no, this is from a movie set. It got to the point, like, pause, because like this is about to be really creepy. But I was looking at the veins in his arms.
Yeah, and the
veins of his arms. Yeah, it was like corporate wants you to spot the difference between these pictures. They're the same picture. That's that Office meme where it's Pam.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
And like I tried to find his social media and stuff like that. I'm not obsessed with the dude. It's just interesting as fuck to me.
Oh wait, the guy on the left?
This is the police officer.
I thought that was The Rock, and I thought the guy on the right was the lookalike. That's why I was saying the guy on the right looked better than The Rock.
No, this is The Rock, dude, the guy on the right. This is The Rock.
Son, the dude on the left looks more like The Rock.
And The Rock looks like The Rock? It's your boy. They said all kind of things. He's the Pebble. All kind of stuff.
That's funny.
I don't know.
That's funny.
Everybody's saying that's him, but yeah, officially that's it. I wanted to get that stupid little topic off because it's been like I've been laughing at it all week.
That's so funny.
It's officially you time. Go. What you got today? And also, wait, before you get started, what you brought us to drink today?
Just a little bit of Moscato.
Yeah,
nothing expensive.
Let me have a little sample of that Moscato again. If you got it, if you got the bottle around.
You need a little pour off.
Yeah,
a little pour. All right, I got you, son.
You want to pour it? Or you want me to pour it? I got you, son. All right, hold on. Oh, hold on. No. Spin that shit to the camera. Look at this shit.
You got to see that $6 Moscato.
That's a professional if I ever did see it. Thank you, sir.
I'll top myself off.
I'm not. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You top yourself off.
Yeah, I removed 2 ribs just to do it.
Damn, I'll cheers to that then. Hold on, get you. No.
Look at my little glizzy.
There you go. All right, it's your topic. It's about that time I'm gonna take a wee break, a little wee break.
Okay, that's fine.
And you go for it.
All right, let's talk about Ida, that dumb bitch that came through and trying to tear us all up. Why is always the female hurricanes coming through?
I think it's the eyes. I heard something. It's with the hurricanes that start with an I.
The hurricanes that start with an I are the worst ones?
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Katrina, Rita, Hurricane, Harvey? Wasn't that a bad one? Or like, there's one with an A, I think. I'm not sure, but Borsha, That hurricane did some wonders. I'll be honest. 24 hours before landfall, I didn't think shit of it. I was like, this ain't gonna do nothing. No big deal. And then I started looking at the live streams of Grand Isle, and my God, was I scared. Not scared, just I hate, like, being from South Louisiana, we all love a hurricane party. We all love being able to just be lazy whenever we have an excuse to not be able to do anything.
Because we're such a hard-working group of individuals that we just appreciate a decent
It's
break.
a hard not life. But on top of that, I hate having to clean up, dude. I hate our city smelling like sewage for the next 2 weeks while it's all just full of water and everybody having all these big branches at the end of their road and everyone just struggling because everything just got destroyed. Like, I was so glad that it went to the east, and it didn't hit us that hard. But
good for us.
It's good for us, but it sucks for them. Yeah, it sucks for them. Dude,
it took me a whole day. Like, the day it happened, I was like, oh, it was chill. It was a chill storm. And then, like, the next day, like, pictures started to come in from New Orleans, especially like even some Baton Rouge,
Grand Isle, New Orleans, and North,
all that area in the south. Dude, New Orleans is still without power.
Flattened. Yeah, they got flattened, dude. I haven't seen a hurricane do that much damage like that quickly. Like, I feel like it went from nothing was really happening, it kind of didn't look, and then all of a sudden 2 hours later stuff was just flattened. And did you see this stuff in Grand Isle?
Yeah, it's nothing there. This is like the second time it's got hit in my lifetime. We used to go, like, my family used to go and like do like a little vacation there. We would go fish for redfish all the time off that like half-mile dock or wharf that was always out there. And like that's some of my earliest childhood memories. Then it got washed away was Katrina or Rita?
Probably
one of them. I always get so confused.
But Rita hit us, Katrina.
I know, but I don't remember which one. I know which one hit us, but
Katrina.
Not whatever hit everything, right?
Yeah.
And so it got wiped out. Then they rebuilt it really nice, and now it's wiped again.
Man.
And New Orleans apparently like doesn't have power still. Bad.
But like, to be honest, like at this point, like as an adult, do you just not settle in this area because of all the hurricanes? And it's only going to get worse. Like, we know it's only going to get worse.
I think
we had the most amount of hurricanes on recorded history last year. Yeah. We had another bad one this year. Yeah. There's fires all over. There's earthquakes that keep happening.
Just like you're saying now, I think no matter where you go, you're going to have to deal with Mother Nature. Like,
100%.
I don't think there's a spot in the United States, at least, that's away from everything, right? Because you either got like the locust storms, if you in like...
I'd say East Coast is very... You don't have to deal with.
Then you deal with like snowstorms and shit like that. Ice storms.
Like Georgia up to like North Carolina.
You get your
Tennessee area. Georgia. Like, because hurricanes, once they get there, they're not a big deal. You're not dealing with any wildfires. The mountains, like the snow isn't crazy enough because you're not enough north. You might get snow, but it's not going to be crazy. It's not going to get super, super hot because you're a little bit north, but it's still tropic.
But I'm pretty sure like Atlantic, like tropical storms can still hit you there.
Yeah,
you're
but
still on the coast.
They're not like, you're not getting destroyed like you're getting destroyed over here.
You remember the one that hit New York like last year, year before last? What was it?
Yeah, but stuff over there didn't get destroyed because... It was
pretty bad.
Yes, but it's bad because they don't have the infrastructure and their buildings aren't built to deal with hurricanes. Like over here, our stuff is built to deal with it. So it takes a horrible one to destroy us rather than just a category 2 fucking up everything and flooding everything because we've never designed for it.
Yeah.
So like,
remember when we flooded in 2016 in Lafayette just because rain? Like it rained for 3 days and
it was like super flooded, like 3 feet in people's houses. Yeah.
That's all that
dude. That's what we need to That's what we need to invest in if we're gonna live on the ocean and our ground is gonna continuously go away. We have to set up infrastructure for drainage and like get everybody above, and like we have to have drainage. How we have a whole college town and all this crazy shit and a decent amount of money coming through our city, and it floods when it fucking rains once a day.
If I'm not mistaken, like around that time, a lot of people were blaming it on all that stuff going on in Ambassador, like the Costco, the reopening of all the like lanes and stuff on Ambassador, all that stuff that's happened on that side of town. Because they're pouring so much concrete and so much asphalt that the water has nowhere to go anymore. It's not draining properly. Like they're building stuff, but not building proper drainage to take care of it.
That's the issue. They need to do things correct. Like we need proper drainage. Like it doesn't help to spend, I don't know how, let's just say millions of dollars to half-ass something, to have to spend millions of more 30 years later when everything crumbles and falls apart, or it gets to a point where you just have to do it because shit's fucked.
So I think what needs to happen is that the government has to implement certain legislature that will see, like, whoever's building all this stuff is private properties, right? Like, it's not the government. The government's not building Costco. It's private corporations and stuff like that building, or public corporations, whatever corporations
so
building
it's
these
just the
things.
regulations.
And I think the government may need to regulate more. Like, I'm pretty sure they had built that extra service road that goes parallel between that hospital and Costco right there, because they thought that it was going to take up so much traffic from building Costco right there.
Yeah.
That's why they put those medians and stuff like that. They had to pay for a lot of that extra shit. And I think they just need to be a little bit more stern on, like, hey, like, you can build this, but you're going to have to supplement this. You're going to need certain drainage and stuff like that. Yeah. And maybe they are, but obviously it has to be better, unless we just don't know what the problem is. But people were saying that's what all the problem was.
This kind of ties into a topic that I heard the other day. I think Rogan was actually talking about it when they were talking about people don't want to lose their freedoms. Like, you don't want to give your freedoms away to the government, but at the same time, like, capitalism kind of just allows for, slacking. For example, if there wasn't for regulations that we have on anything, or regulations, for example, on a house, who's to say that these people would build the house to regulation? Who's to say they wouldn't cut corners and save money on this, make this one a little bit just not the standard, to save a little bit of money and to finish it quicker and to finish your project and make your money. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, people will cut corners.
So it's a very relevant topic. Like, not relevant to me anyway. Whenever I was younger and, like, helping my family do construction and all that shit, there's a builder's code for everything. And I went to college for industrial. I had to study it, and, like, I passed it because I knew most of it. But, like, stairs have to be, at the time I did anyway, stairs have to be built so many inches apart, right? And so long. It's built to code. That way, when you walk on it, it feels the same as every other steps you ever take. Now, if you walk on someone's steps and they feel a little off, that means they're not built to code. There's supposed to be an outlet so many inches from so many things. The stud is supposed to be 16 inches.
And I get that. And what I'm trying to say is, but, like, we need to make, like, I know people don't want to be regulated on anything, but if we don't regulate people, they will take the easy way out, and they will get it done as cheap and as easily as possible.
What's interesting is that...
Fuck that. I don't want shit to get half-assed. Like, that's bullshit.
See, I feel like you have an interesting view on that, because I feel like a lot of the times you're normally always, figure it out yourself, do it yourself, and be the better person. But then when it comes to government, you're not like that. Is that because you don't trust everyone to be the better person?
Well, I think most people will be the worst person if they can, because being the worst person takes less energy, and it's usually the easier way out. And it usually doesn't get you much less or much more than being the good person. Like, being the good person is simply just to feel good about yourself and to be moral and to know that you're doing something better for the bigger picture. It doesn't actually get you anything. Like being the better person doesn't get you more money. It doesn't get you necessarily better or more friends. I mean, if you're a good person for 20 years, yes. But if you're just a good person for one day, like, that's not going to get you nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not for you.
You don't think you're more lucky? You don't think you're more lucky if you're a good person?
I definitely do believe in good karma. But what I'm trying to say is,
wait, hold on. You believe in karma, but not, like, superstitions?
Yeah. But karma is kind of manifestation. Like, it's kind of like what you bring. It's the energy that you put out. Like, you get back what you put out.
The universe.
Yeah. It's kind of just like, if you're putting out all this negative shit's going to come back to you. And if you're being like it's kind of like the same thing I was talking about perspective the other day. Like, you can be happy and then you don't have all your money, or you can be a grumpy ass person and still have all this money. Like, it's your perspective. Okay, back to the hurricane though. I'm sure a lot of people want to talk about that. Man, that shit's crazy. Like, so what do people just have, like, flood insurance and stuff? Like, I know some places you have to have it, flood insurance, and if your shit gets fucked, like, you get your money and you're able to rebuild. But
I can speak on Erath specifically, like, where you're from, because, like, we did a lot of houses, like, rebuilding them after they flooded. So basically, you always have the option of flood insurance, but you don't want to buy it because it's like thousands of dollars a year, and you will quickly
pay more in insurance than you
Sorry, hold on, there was some noises happening outside. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Gotta love not having an official studio shooting the podcast in my living room. Soon that'll be fixed, hopefully, whenever we move to the new place, or I move to the new place. Anyway, what was I saying? Sorry, I got distracted for a second.
ADD, I don't know.
What the fuck was I just saying? You got to jog my memory.
Shoot, I don't know.
Well, we don't know. I can't believe we just lost that topic. That's tragic. What was I saying?
I don't know. We're ADHD.
Yeah, mental health is important. You see, this is the live. We're gonna.
I don't know, but let's just go back to the hurricane. Screw it.
Yeah, no, for sure. We'll go back into it, but we gotta explain to them. You know, were we talking about karma?
Yeah, good karma, putting stuff out there, getting good stuff back.
Flood insurance.
Oh, flood insurance.
Wow. He just like fucking. Ding. So from my experience, like ERATH is like specifically ERATH. There was flood zones and not flood zones. If you lived in a flood zone, you had to get flood insurance. If you lived in a non-flood zone, you didn't have to get flood insurance. But if it flooded, you were fucked.
Yeah.
So what everyone did in ERATH, I believe after the hurricane came through and it all flooded, like half of ERATH got like moved into a flood zone. So that's why when you go to ERATH now, everyone has their houses built up like a camp on stilts because it was cheaper to build their house up than to pay for like 3, 4, 5 years of flood insurance. Like that's how expensive flood insurance is. Like it's that expensive. So like if you choose to have it, yes, you're good. Only certain things, you know, it covers, but also it's really fucking expensive depending on where you live. And it has to be, you know, it had to be surveyed and determine what's in a flood zone, what's not. So, you know, like when we were living in ERATH, what we did was we turtle backed our, we're the first, like one of the first houses that did that because we built that house and it wasn't a flood zone, I believe. So they turtle backed the mound, like they put a big ass mound underneath the house to where it doesn't flood. And whenever it did flood for the hurricane, I remember all our neighbors came park their cars on our hill and stuff like that when I was a kid. That wasn't a big one. It's, if you go down whatever that road is that Big John's is on in ERATH, if you're leaving the Big John's parking lot, that first house on your left, that was my aunt and uncle's house, and that second house on the left was our house, like growing up, that we had built. I just feel it's a very ERATH specific detail.
I just feel so bad with it, man. Like being hit by something so like Mother Nature is something that obviously we feel completely helpless towards every single time. Like you just have to watch the hurricane destroy your house, and there's nothing you can do. You know, like. It just sucks to see so many people get hit so hard at the end of, well, not the end, but after such a long pandemic and everybody just been struggling, and it's just been like, life's already hard as shit, and it's been insanely hard the last year, and then people got hit with this. Like, if I owned a little house or had something and my shit got fucked up, like, I wouldn't know what to do. I don't have the money to just be like putting thousands into all this stuff and fixing all this and like having to worry about. Like, what if you have kids and you have this house that your kids live in and this and that? Like, what do you do? You know, like, that's probably another reason why I'm not wanting to have kids. Yeah, like, I think I'd be a great dad and I want to do it. But, man, it's so scary to have to worry about more than just myself. You know, like, if I have to sleep in my car for the night, then so be it. But I can't make somebody else have to sleep in the car just because I couldn't take care of my shit or something happened and now you don't have a house, so you have to sleep in the car. You know, like it's kind of the same thing with me and my girlfriend. Like I can put myself through situations, but I'm not going to put her through any of those situations. And like, it's hard to plan out those situations because you don't know what's going to happen. You know, like you don't know, like nobody knew of the hurricane until 3 days before. All of a sudden, there's no gas anywhere. There's no water anywhere.
Dude, people are still trying to find gas. Yeah, like, dude, I was on Facebook today.
It took me a while to get gas today.
Because I was searching on Marketplace. Like, that's the only thing I use Facebook now. We jump back into that. It's for Marketplace because it's replaced Craigslist and it's not sketchy and I can see who I'm meeting up with and all these things. But I was looking for, like, just stuff around the house, like furniture and stuff like that. And people, like, I saw, like, 5 people messaging that, you know, where can I find gas in a 1 mile area because I only got 5 miles on my car right now. And it's like, I don't know. Like, what do you want? Son. Don't be grabbing between my legs. Pause. You're crazy, bro.
Full homo.
Hold on.
Full homo.
No, turn that shit over.
It's
what do you want?
What's
wrong?
It's not working.
Hit it again.
I tried. It didn't work.
Take it out.
Continue. What were you saying?
I don't know. I lost it because you're just grabbing next to my genitals and shit, bro.
I was waking you up.
I'm woke up. I'm woke. I'm very, like, I'm there. Fuck. Man. Hold on. You threw me off of that shit.
Are you good? Do you know how
it's really not that big of a deal, but it just was it was surprised. I was surprised by it.
Do you know how far east the hurricane went to? Like, did it go all the way into like Mobile and fuck up all Mobile and stuff?
I know it went all the way because specifically of Kyle, our friend Kyle, or Kyle that was on the podcast. He was going to Bonnaroo, And like he was worried about at first like the COVID thing, so like they got fully vaccinated of all that stuff, and like shout out to him for a good job for doing that. Whatever the fuck people want to think, I don't care. Basically, he was worried about that, so he took care of that. Then he was gone the day he was supposed to leave. He was supposed to leave Tuesday, and as he packed everything up and was about to hit the road, he read that the hurricane had like fucked up the festival and they canceled the festival. Dang. So like that's all the way in Tennessee. So it went that far, like northeast. Yeah. I don't know specifically about Alabama. I think Mississippi got some pretty bad, definitely like our coast. And then it went all the way up and fucked up some shit up there. Maybe not like wind whipping stuff up and flooding, but like torrential downpour that they weren't expecting and winds and stuff like that.
And all the water that can't go anywhere. Yeah,
it's just like rain. So like the whole festival got canceled and stuff like that, which is like sucks. But it's the one small thing to deal with right now. Like everyone, it affected a lot more than we thought for sure. And I don't know if I can remember. I'm going to try and post some of the links down, like in the maybe like either through Instagram or on YouTube, on like how people can get more information or donate or help or whatever. Because there's a lot of fundraisers going on right now.
Which is good. Yeah,
we got pretty fortunate, but like our neighbors.
That's
really
another cool thing, dude. Within the last 5 years, they've created like a Cajun army. And
it was the Cajun Navy, right?
Yeah, the Cajun Navy. I
want to come back next podcast.
That's
I'm gonna write that down and talk about that because I'm curious how that started and all this stuff. Unless you know more on it.
No, I don't know too much on it. That's something we can look up. But like, that's so cool how that just happened. So organically. And
you know what? No, people are going to want to know. So I'm gonna look it up now while you talk.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can.
Yeah, why not?
I think that's such an awesome thing that. It's almost like expected now. Like if we're gonna have a big hurricane or natural disaster happen around here now, we know that the Cajun Navy is gonna be there, and people are gonna donate, and people are gonna get it fixed. Like we're just so used to it, especially after last year, all the hurricanes last year. It's like
sorry, I pulled up the website, like their official logo and shit. Like it's cool, but I'm not gonna read it in a second. Go ahead, keep talking.
It's just it's very wholesome. It goes to show how cool our culture can be and how cool and helpful the people can be. Mm-hmm. Like, I think we're very helpful to each other. I think we need to try to be helpful to people outside of our culture. I think that would help a good bit. Because then maybe they'll help us too. But yeah, it's just so wholesome. It's nice to see, especially at such a down time or a blue time in history, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm on the official like Cajun Navy website, and it looks like some legit like military like website, almost like a recruiting thing, which is kind of cool. Here's the like summary, I guess, like they're about us. Let me take a sip before I begin this. Hold on one second, So it's the Cajun Navy. The United Cajun Navy, actually, I believe, is the official term. So the United Cajun Navy knows that our strength lies not only in the words we stand by, but most importantly through the actions of our initiatives. We are a 501c3, I don't know, registered nonprofit organization. I don't know what that means. I guess it's some kind of like...
nonprofit is obviously, but...
Right. But it signifies some form of nonprofit. Anyway,
yeah, it probably has to do with taxes and...
Right, a tax bracket or something. Nonprofit organization focused on helping make the world around us a better place. With the help of our tireless staff and volunteers, we organize search and rescue teams during national disasters. United Cajun Navy offers support needed for children across the United States. See, that's cool because I thought it was only, honestly, like a thing around here. Like, I really thought it was...
So it was too.
Yeah, so no, it says they definitely support children in need across all United States. We provide relief efforts through fundraising, community building events, and in-depth training sessions for our volunteers. Yeah. We have several locations throughout the United States for our supply chain to reach people in need all over. United Cajun Navy has provided holiday meals, toys, medical supplies, generators, and much more at no cost to those who need them.
That's pretty pimping.
Yeah, I thought it was just like a local thing around here. You can't flip through my secret little dirty book.
I was just looking.
That's my secret little... You see what that is? What is that picture?
Is it a lung?
It's a butt.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is my little dirty book of secrets. You see?
It's not like a fart. I'm kidding.
It stays in my purse all the time. Anyway, this is just like podcast topics and stuff I keep on here.
So what did you finish up with?
No, that they reach like a lot more than
just here. I guess
yeah.
it just kind of comes down to how much funding they have.
So they say
and what they're able
that,
to do.
Yeah. So there's just their deployments, and I just clicked on the hurricane deployments. I don't know, man. It's pretty cool. It's just surprisingly more in depth and organized than I thought it was.
Oh, well,
I thought it was like I thought it was just some partners helping out with their airboats and stuff at first. Like,
I thought that was I think that's what it is like at the base. Like in reality to it, when you get there, it's a whole bunch of partners in their boats. Actually, like when it comes down to the physical side of things.
Yeah.
But the money side of things and the corporation side of things and stuff, like that has to be figured out, especially when it comes to using all of these different people's money that they just gave to you. Like there's got to be a I don't want to say a timeline, but a flow sheet of all the money, where it all goes and where it all comes from, and like how it's all allocated. I don't know. I need to read more. Get my vocabulary up.
I'm not even going to get into this topic because it's a lot of reading. And let's just... I was curious about this, though. What you got, man?
I want to talk about the McDonald's thing.
What? Oh, the McFlurries?
Yeah. So apparently... Let me get the thing out just to be...
Oh, my God.
What?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
All right. So... Shoot. Apparently, the... Federal Trade Commission has been launching an investigation on the McDonald's McFlurry machines being constantly broken because apparently... So their machines, what makes it such a crazy thing is their machines are about $18,000 a piece because they can make soft serve and a different kind of ice cream at the same time. And they're made by this one specific company.
And they're like hella complicated. I watched this documentary. That's what I was like, oh my God. I remembered like when I said that.
Yeah.
Because like basically they're looking into it. I think, are they trying to say that like they are looking like for false advertising for having the McFlurry, but then never having it in stock? Like their ice cream machine is always down. You know, there's a...
Well, what happened was the machine was sold to them by this company.
Yeah.
It constantly broke. And only that one company can go and fix that one machine because it was a very specific machine and nobody else knew how to do it. And the company wouldn't let anybody else work on it.
Yeah.
So you had to hire. So basically, at the end of the, like in a nutshell, McDonald's was paying more money a year to fix their machines than they were making off of the machines. So, like than they were making selling the thing. So it was costing them more money to have. So basically, they were like, hey, like they were suing the company. They were like, hey, you can't give us this machine, charge us all this money to do it, and them constantly be breaking and this and that. Like we don't have our product.
You know what that is?
What?
It's
like monopoly. Like they had a monopoly over
that's the whole right to repair movement that's going on right now. Same thing with like our phones.
Cars too.
Apple, like a lot of companies are just making their phones to where you cannot repair them. And if you do try and repair them yourself, you're going to void your warranty or you're going to fuck something up. So the whole like right to repair movement is basically legislature going into effect that if I buy something, and I have the right to repair it. There's this whole thing with like John Deere tractors now. I watched this whole thing on it one time. Basically, all these farmers across America are having to buy like these new, like not necessarily John Deere, but let's say John Deere, these new tractors. And it's so much software and shit in the tractors because it's just computers that like autopilot themselves and stuff like that. But that's the only tractors that are available now. And they're breaking that. Instead of sending it to John Deere or whoever, because it's going to take months and months to fix it and send back, and they're not going to harvest their crops, farmers are using the power of the internet and Reddit and stuff like that, and literally learning how to hack and do all these things to fix their software, to fix their tractors,
get it to work. Yeah,
and it's like these like super scientific nerd farmers now, and I was like, damn, like that's crazy. I never would have thought about that.
It's just it's. What do you call it? I think it's crazy how they've designed things to break. Like they design things to cost more money.
Yeah.
Like, my mom bought a car. It was like a 2015, whatever. You can't personally change the battery in it. The battery is so internal in it. You have to take parts out, take apart the motor bit to take the battery out. So every time she had to change the battery or every time she needed to jump it or something, we had to bring it into the shop. Guess what? She don't have that vehicle anymore. Because that's so bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I have to spend more money every time there's an issue. I can't even have this skill. I can't have this trait. I can't try to do something to it. Like, that's so fucked up.
But that's why we manufacture things like that now, because back in the day when they say they don't build things how they used to, and it's true because back in the day when they would build stuff, it was built so good, you never had to buy it again.
That's what I'm saying.
And so it's like a consumer society because we have to buy stuff to make the world economy keep going round and round. They want us to keep buying stuff,
But like, buy.
If we don't buy stuff, then their employees get fired. They lose their job. All this stuff. I
get that. But if you sell it to me,
consumer society.
If you sell it to me for twice the cost and it lasts twice as long, you feel me? Like we can compromise. Don't give me the shittiest thing in the world, but I know what value is. I know what stuff costs. So if you give me a really good product, I'm still gonna buy that really good product. Look at shoes. Look at shoes. Look at the laptops. Look at our phones.
I will pay twice as much for like a Vans, like a canvas shoe that's just glued on, right? It's just it's just like it's foxing glued onto the midsole. It's like vulcanized rubber where it's just melted and welded together. I'll spend the most I spend on that is like $60, $75. Yeah. I will never buy a $200 canvas shoe or something like that because I know it's not going to last as long as I will spend $150, $250 on a leather shoe that, like I said, is stitched in the sole that I know is going to last me years and years. It's like a pair of boots at that point because like boots are stitched in, they're leather. All you got to do is clean them up, recondition the leather, and it's going to be good to go. Yeah, exactly. That's why like all these shoe restorers are able to restore these Jordans from the 80s. So you can't restore Vans that was made
2 years ago.
Yeah. But that's what it's designed. It's disposable versus
there's a term for it. It's called There's a term for
when it's probably something like fatigue design or something like that, where it's designed to break after so many uses.
Yeah, it's designed to break after a certain amount of time.
Which is what everything. It's just rating. Yeah. So, but like a shoe that's made out of, like I said, canvas is worth like $45 to $65 to me. You know what I'm saying? You got to know what you're buying. It's like some people buy cars like that. They'll buy a cheap car that looks good that'll only last them 2 years, and then they got to fix something, and then it's fucking super expensive. Or buy a little bit uglier car, buy the Toyota instead of the BMW that's going to last you more and more years, and you don't have to repair it. It's just built better, quality better. You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
And then that's why they hold their resale value so much, and then that's why, you know what I'm saying? There's different ways of definitely looking at it. It's like the manufacturer of like one of my smartest things. I think whoever made this invention was a trash bag.
Trash bag?
You literally make it and you buy it to throw it away. You're always going to have to buy another trash bag. There's never a day where you just like toilet paper, but there's solutions to that, but you're never going to not be able to buy trash bags. The fact that they didn't patent it.
So it's just a necessity. You think that
But you literally make something for someone to buy it to throw it away.
Which is paper towels too.
Which
is
But there's options to paper towels, right? You can use rags. You can use wash rags and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess you have to use a trash bag, huh?
A really cool example. Or so I was thinking in my head, my mouth is moving behind my head right now. But this head was thinking... they should have patented it. But also, I realized that there's this cool story. I think it's Volvo. They designed the seatbelt in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, somewhere in there. And they decided or realized that it was such an important invention or discovery to automotive safety that they wouldn't patent it. So every other car manufacturer could have the seatbelt. Yeah. And they did all the research themselves. They funded it all themselves. Wow, this is making shit so much safer. We cannot patent this. We need everybody to have this. It needs to be open source, right?
I feel like people are going away from that a lot. People are trying to
protect their IP.
Well, I feel like we're in a very one for yourself or everyone for themselves kind of world and economy nowadays, where it's if you don't make your money now for you, who's to say you're gonna make it, or who's to say somebody else might not take it out of you. Everything's opportunity of the moment, and it's if you don't get the best that you can get out of this situation, what are you doing? Or I don't know.
Do you think that a lot of things like COVID and shit has sped that up because we're realizing if you don't do it now, you have no certainty. We don't know what the economy is going to do next week. We don't know what if venues are going to be open next week. Do you think that's accelerating it at a specific pace that everyone's one for themselves?
Yeah, I think that's making it worse just because there's less opportunity total. Like there's less jobs to do. There's less this and that. There's less money being circulated. People has less money to spend. So that's
supply and demand is all fucked up.
So yeah, supply and demand is really fucked up. Like especially with people like stuff being held and lumber and oil and stuff. And like
a huge thing with that right now, with most of the things going on in the world right now, like there's a huge supply shortage of computer chips, and a lot of people aren't realizing that.
Yeah.
But like microchips specifically, like they're not being produced. And so there's so many cars that are just lined up, like trucks and shit like that, that's just lined up on the side of the road outside of factories, just waiting for their computer chips to be assembled.
Really?
That's why there's a new car shortage, because all of our new cars use much computer shit in it. Like your screens, your AC, your traction control, your everything.
Is it just because production went down throughout COVID?
They're trying to catch up.
We're using more than we're producing.
So basically, I watched this thing the other day, and it was talking about it's Toyota. I'm gonna look it up specifically. Toyota created this way of the supply chain, right? Toyota would order a product. It's basically, remember how Henry Ford made the conveyor belt to make assembling of everything very easily.
The assembly.
Right? He created the assembly line.
Yeah, the assembly line. Yeah,
right. Or perfected it anyway. So people adapted that method. Well, Toyota has had this process, which I forget what it's called, which I'm going to look up as soon as I stop talking, that they have got it down so specifically with science and computers that they order a part. As soon as it gets to the factory, like within a day, that part does not sit on the shelf. It knows exactly where it's going to a certain car, and they're installing it right in there. So they're only ordering exactly what they need. They don't have a supply. They don't have it backed up. So the whole rest of the automotive industry has adopted that because it's worked so well. It's able to, cars are getting a little cheaper now with more features. That's how they're doing it. They're decreasing the margin or increasing the profit margin.
I see what you're saying.
So basically, when all this shit happened, no one had what they needed. There's no supply anywhere. There's no computer chips or anything.
Because they were used to getting it on demand.
On demand, exactly. Like what we do with Amazon,
yeah,
right?
That's what I was going to say. So it's like when you're used to getting, say you need to buy your hair product or whatever off Amazon like I do. I shouldn't wait till 2 days before and get that 2-day Amazon Prime shipped to me because now they can't make it immediately. So I would have needed it. They would have needed it in stock, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't think about that.
So it's called a Toyota production.
It's not like, it's not like
called a Toyota production system, TPS for short.
Yeah, wow.
It's based around, it's called just-in-time flow systems. And a lot of people have adopted this, but Toyota was the one that invented that. I don't know, it reminded me from the Volvo thing. I kind of like cars too, like if you haven't noticed. I don't know, cars are interesting. And basically... they created this thing where they would order something and it would arrive just in time system to increase productivity and efficiency. It also saves space too, because you don't have to have it saves time, space, and money because you don't have to have a warehouse full of parts. You don't have to pay someone to go organize all those parts. You don't have to pay someone to go grab that part and put
all
it
the
back.
Parts too.
And so that's what's happening.
Wow, dude, that's brilliant. So you don't need overhead for the inventory.
All that stuff.
You don't need to pay for the space of the inventory, the moving of the inventory, the everything. It's literally like, hey, look, I'm going to buy this pen. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to sell you this pen. Now I have this money. I'm going to buy 2 pens. I'm going to work on these pens. I'm going to sell you these 2 pens. Now I can have 3 pens.
Yeah, but not only that, but they don't even have to have the room to have that many employees now. So their break rooms are smaller. They have to have less break rooms. It's just like it's really efficient.
Yeah. It's like... You don't need as big of a hand when you only have to grab
I'm sure
one thing at a
deadlines
time.
And there's certain things that like it negatively affects. Like it's probably more stressful, but they have gotten it down to such a perfect science where basically nothing goes wrong
it's
until they didn't have computer chips. So now computer chips are short.
So that's
and
the
they
bottleneck.
can't. So cars are being assembled and just put on the side of the road outside the factories for like miles because they have everything but the computer chips.
Send them out. Yeah.
Now you're going to start noticing in a few more months, cars are going to be a lot more stripped down than they used to be. Like they're going to have those budget options without your computer screens now, without all these things, because they can actually move those products, sell them for a little bit cheaper because they don't have as many computer chips.
Yeah, and so they can still sell a product. Like they need to sell something.
Still making something. Yeah. So like get ready for that. Like definitely like Honda used to do
get good deals.
Honda used to do back in the day like the DX, which was like the strip down. It wouldn't have the electric windows. It would have the roll down windows and no powered mirrors and stuff like that.
I think we're past that now. Like any new cars is going to have power windows.
There's not. Like only in America is that a thing. Like in other countries, you're still able to buy certain cars with like roll down windows and stuff like that because it saves money. No AC sometimes, no stereo sometimes.
Damn.
It's just like we got so used to our creature comforts. It wouldn't work here.
Our car is more of our house nowadays. Or at least our car is more of our house in America than anywhere else. Like,
isn't that a law in Louisiana that like your car is an extension
of your home? Yeah, that goes with like self-defense rights and
stuff like that,
and like property rights. But
I'm gonna be right back.
Yeah, that's fine. Just in the sense of, what were we saying?
Your car is much more American.
Oh yeah, like we drive in our cars way longer every day on average than I'm sure any other country. Definitely European countries. Like because no country is nearly as big as ours in terms of, like not Russia and China and whatnot, but they're not driving around in their cars every day. They're not driving 15 hours back and forth across the country. Like, I don't know. I feel like my car needs to be comfortable. It needs to have all those things because I'm in it for such an extended period of time. And like, my car is the only reason I'm allowed to have a certain job. It's the only reason I'm allowed to go see certain people or do certain things. Like, my car is more of a freedom than my house is. Like, honestly, if I had to give one of them up, like, I couldn't live in my house and walk to work every day, but I can live in my car and just drive to work and go shower at somebody's house or something, like.
But also realize that that's more of a down south thing, because a lot of people, like some of my friends and stuff that live in Chicago or bigger cities, New York, they don't even have cars.
Well, yeah, they don't have to, but that's what
public transportation. But it's more this close to my mouth.
Yeah.
It's definitely more of like a southern thing as well. But overall, the United States, I feel like we love our cars. Like, so I feel like that's a very American thing. That's why we have these big ass trucks.
Cars are more American than beer is. Way more American, because like beer began a European thing. Like, yeah, we adopted it, but
all right,
cars are more American.
Well, what's more important, or what's more American? Like trucks, right? Football or baseball?
Ooh, I would say football out of all of them, because this is the only place that has like. Baseball didn't originate in America. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I think it was a Cuban.
Well, it's derived from cricket, I think, and cricket is like a European thing. But
I thought cricket was more like South American.
I don't know.
No,
I really don't know, to be honest.
Either. But I would say football because, like, baseball is like America's greatest pastime or whatever.
It was made here for sure.
But
I'm gonna look it up,
bro. Like, who do you know that likes baseball? Who do you know that's like, hey, bro, you coming to the Sox game? You want to go watch the Astros game? There's maybe like 10% of people that like baseball. The rest, And to be honest, I wanted to say trucks over football, but I think football is just so iconic.
I got a better argument. So, not an argument, but I want to argue for the trucks.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, but baseball was made in New York. And a Civil War hero named Abner Doubleday. He's often credited with developing the game in 1839, but the real history is older and more complicated. You may have heard that a young man named Doubleday invented the game known as baseball in Copperstown, New York, during the summer of 1839.
1839.
Basketball is really old, too.
It's almost a 200-year-old game.
Basketball is actually really, really old, too. It's not as old, I don't think, as any baseball.
Basketball began in the East.
Anyway, what were we saying?
Oh, the truck.
Being a more American. Let me make this argument, because we do play football games outside the United States, right? They play 2 a year or something like that, right? Every other state or every other country has their big sport that's just as big, that's just as relatable to baseball or football. What do other countries have that is relatable to the pickup truck?
Well, I guess other countries don't really fuck with the truck like we do.
That's what I'm saying. It's very specific. It's very niche. I feel like
make the truck. Well,
did we make the pickup truck? I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure the truck was like...
It was military derived. But that's what we should have on the American flag, a pickup truck.
Pickup truck?
No, that's like probably offensive.
Trucks.
But like, no, but like really, okay, think about that argument.
Tracks, and sacks. Get all your rope, soap, and dope. Throw it in your truck. Who gives a fuck?
Lift the truck. Who gives a fuck?
Lifted trucks.
I think that is the most American thing I can think of.
Trucks, titties.
No, everybody likes sports. Titties. The whole world loves titties. The whole world loves sports.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah, I guess you're right, huh?
What else do they have?
I wouldn't say that we all like sports.
Like Australians have games. What they call utes.
Utes? Is that?
Utes is like a car with a truck bed basically on it.
Oh, it's like a El Camino?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
El Camino, son, that was the funniest shit ever as a kid. I was like, the El Camino never made sense to me.
So
It was like
a popular producer of Utes. Well, you talk about you can talk about it real quick. My bad.
it was just like
Finish that up.
it confused me because it was like, okay, you have the power of a car, but then you have the bed of a truck that would only work with the power of a truck. It's like, what you gonna put back there? You're gonna fill it up with dirt and then like.
I remember somebody telling me one time.
You have a 3-cylinder engine.
I remember somebody told me one time it was a mullet car.
Yes.
This is a business in the front, a party in the back.
Yeah.
Somebody. I remember that as a kid, like somebody saying that, and then like that is stuck with me.
Such the mullet car.
But that's what a Ute is. So the Ute is like it's an Australian term. They don't call it a truck or whatever.
Cool.
So this is a lot of Holdens you're seeing here, which is Australians' version of Chevy. It's the same thing, but it's called Holdens over there. The original Ute was designed apparently. They had to get their livestock down to the market on like the weekend or whatever, or like small things, right? And so they took their cars, which they already had because they didn't have trucks, and they just put truck beds on them. Right, so that's how it started. Now Utes are like this sport utility, like pickup shit, and they're like, this is like basically the Pontiac.
It looks like
they did a Pontiac G6. Like, no, it's an American company actually. It's Pontiac and like Holden and Chevy. It's General Motors, I think. And they took that brand, brought it there, so it's Holden now. They actually make a couple things like they make certain motors and brakes and shit like that in Australia just because what's around there, the resources. But they only sell this Ute thing in the Australian market, which is literally like this is like, it's pretty damn dope. Like you can't buy them in the United States because like the market doesn't want them or whatever. And you can't import them because of safety laws and stuff.
It looks like a little Chevy car.
You know what we did have here? But I wanted to show you this because we are getting something in the American market very soon. There's a Hyundai Santa Cruz. There's two things coming out. They're like mini trucks, right? But they're not mini trucks. Check this out. We're in the automotive part. So this is coming out to the United States very, very, very soon. I really like this car.
Like a little Grandpa Cybertruck.
So they take the...
it kind of looks like the Honda trucks.
The Ridgeline? Yes, the Honda Ridgeline. But so like it's the SUV kind of car, like crossover, and it's got a truck bed. Now watch what Ford is doing. This is really small. Like if you can stand up and see over the roof. It's not that big.
Oh, really? So it's got like a Nissan Rogue height,
maybe,
or like a little like. No, it's probably taller than that. It looks more trucky than that. It really does look like an SUV.
That's a Hyundai. It's called the Santa Cruz, and then Ford is coming out with something called the Maverick, and it's just a really small, like tiny, like it's a hybrid. Also, this truck is a hybrid. Like the base model is a hybrid. Yeah. And like this is really, really, really tiny car. Like you can see this like chick standing next to it.
Yeah.
Like it's a small car that you would have to see how small it is. It's really a truck for the city.
Have you seen those Honda trucks that I'm talking about?
You're talking about Honda Ridgeline.
Like the new ones look like that. Like they're small like that. They're not very tall.
That's way smaller.
Really?
That's about the size of like
the Jeep trucks?
Way smaller than a Jeep trucks.
What?
Yeah, so like they're small.
Those aren't big though.
It's a new market. So remember when crossovers came around, like basically just bigger hatchbacks. Like you had the Honda Civic hatchback, but then they made like the Honda HRV, or they had the CRV in the past, but then they made like the HRV or whatever the fuck it's called, where it's like in between that, right? It's just bigger hatchbacks. Now they're making this new market in America, call them like mini trucks. Like they bring it back like the S10 and stuff like that, but it's like the modern version of it where they can still comfortably fit that many people in it. Yeah. I don't know. You saying Honda Ridgeline is kind of like that. Like this?
Yeah, you see?
But this is a lot bigger.
Really?
The design language is similar, but this is almost a full-size truck.
Yeah.
This is smaller than, let me put it to you this way. Those trucks are smaller than Tacomas.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
The Ridgeline is the same size roughly as a modern Tacoma.
I would say, yeah. That's about the same
trucks I was showing you is smaller than that.
Okay.
It's really small.
So it's almost like a car, yeah.
It's
like an SUV.
It's like an SUV with a truck bed on it. It's like the US.
So have you seen those new, like, I think it's a BMW, no, I think it's a Mercedes car that kind of looks like a damn, like, not go-kart, but like, it looks like a remote control car almost.
Could be anything. You may be talking about like the Ariel Atom, which is an open cockpit car.
Dude, they're thick. They look like a Rocket League car. Like, man.
Oh, you're talking about the Mercedes-Benz concept with the balls as the wheels?
No, it's not a concept. I saw it on
Yeah,
the
it's a real
road.
thing, but it has like it's a concept car, but it has balls as wheels, like they're round oval wheels, like an iRobot.
No, it's got regular wheels.
Speaking of iRobot, have y'all been seeing? Remember the Tesla bot? The Tesla bot that Elon Musk is making. So he's like designing this robot to replace human in like repetitive and dangerous tasks, and he's making like a whole army of Tesla bots.
That's kind of creepy.
You've seen iRobot, right? Well, Will Smith?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies, no lie.
Really?
I used to watch it so much as a kid. I used to be just super intrigued about... I got
a way more important question for you. What am I looking at here?
That car. It's like thick. It's not super cool.
Yeah, it's a crossover.
Like, yeah, it's kind of like a crossover, but
that's what I'm talking about.
It's thick. Like, have you seen it in person? It's a huge
Remember
car.
the song Panda?
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about, but it's a BMW white X6.
Yeah.
So it's like he saw this X6, right? And it was black and white, and he called it a Panda.
53 Coupe AMG.
Right,
Panda?
so that's what that Panda. It's a fucking...
Panda.
Anyway.
Yes, it's thick. Like, it looks like a swollen... Like, it looks like it got bit by a bee.
Anyway. I lost what I wanted to ask you, man. See, this is terrible.
About the...
About the what?
Oh, Elon Musk.
The iRobot? Oh, no. You just jogged my memory again. You said iRobot is your favorite movie.
No, one of them. I'd say it was like top 10 as a kid. I think it's also just Will Smith. Like, I Am Legend, iRobot.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness. Bruh. Like, Pursuit of Happiness is what let me know that it's okay to cry.
Really? See, I found that ability at a very young age that it was okay to cry. I had to tell myself that. But that was a really good movie.
Yeah, super good.
Yeah, it was with son Jaden, who's like an artist now. Mm-hmm. Just like with
Jaden and the daughter, can't think of her name. Willow, yeah. They're both artists.
They both dropped the Smith from their last name, and they're officially like they're not Willow Smith or Jaden Smith as an artist. If you go look them up, they're just Jaden and just Willow now.
Which I think is cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like they always have that overlook of their father was a rapper, was a video, like he was a celebrity. He
living up to the Smith name. So they're just like, nah, like this doesn't even involve our family.
That's crazy because like that's why last names are important. You wanted to see where your family came from and what you were associated with. And people at work, people still like value that much much because like they're kind of the old time people. They're oh, you're whatever.
This. Yeah.
You're this. You come from this.
So you know these people. Yeah, they love it, dude. Yeah. They love it. But that's because like everyone knew each other. Like you can tell me your last name and it doesn't tell me at all where you're from, who you know, this or that. Like even over here, like there's Delcombs all over the place. There's Grangers and Grangers all over the place. There's Bourgeois all over the place.
What is the correct word? Like name? Is it Granger or Granger?
I mean Granger for our family. That's how we pronounce it. But like
what determines that? Is it just how the family has said it over the years, where they're from?
I think it's just, like
it's like Trahan and Trahan.
Well, they began all in French culture. They used to all speak French. So like they didn't pronounce it Granger because like that's not how it's pronounced in French. It was Granger. So like
it's like
once everyone started learning English and everyone started speaking English and you have all these English speaking people trying to pronounce your name. People read it as Granger. Yeah, they just read it as Granger. My mother's you're not going to be there just like, oh no, that's not how you say it. Like, don't even talk to me.
Anyway, my mother's maiden name is Champagne, so it's just like champagne is spelled just like champagne, but champagne is it's like the wrong. It's like the butchering of its saying. It's like the Americanized version of it, just like Granger.
Granger,
Trahan. I don't get how people say Trahan. That shit like just sounds stupid.
Well, it's because we understand
like a Trahan, like a server. They're like, oh, their family must have been servers in the past. Trahan.
I never thought of it like that.
Trahan.
That's funny.
Not Treyway. We don't talk.
I love it.
What you got? What else you got today?
I mean, we had like an hour and a half. I say we wrap it up.
No, you wrapping it up. I mean, if you're ready to call it, you have to look at the camera and say, "Hey, I'm ready to call it."
Unless you have something else, I'm ready to call it.
Oh, I don't
want to tie all out. What you got? What else?
So many topics, but we could save them for next time.
That's up to you.
I wanted to talk a little bit about music.
Yeah, we can.
And a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to tell you a few things that might like So just overall, like we've been talking about this in the past, like Kanye West like album Donda, and we've been excited for it, or we've talking about what we're expecting it to, whatever. Basically, a few updates. It's projected to sell like 400K this week. Supposedly it was released early without like Kanye's consent. Also, I wanted to tell you, maybe you didn't notice this. I was noticing when I was listening through it. Did you notice that there's not an explicit version of the album? The album is only clean. It's only the
I didn't think about that going through it, but now that you say that,
every word
there
was
wasn't
bleeped out.
any.
There was not a single.
No.
So he just edited like the clean version. They didn't replace it with anything. It's just cut the vocals. Like anytime, like he let they go say whatever they wanted, but anytime they said something he didn't like any profanity, he just cut it out.
And I feel like people were kind of angry about that. Not angry, but they were like, "Yo, bro, like you told me to write a verse. I wrote you a verse, and then you cut that out."
No,
like,
I think everyone for the most part respects Kanye's
hand
and his vision. So like he cut a bunch of people off the album and they're all pissed off. But like at the end of the day, like he's saying that the album got put out early before he was ready and all kind of stuff.
I don't know.
That's a pretty niche topic.
How did you feel about the album? Did you like it?
I liked it for sure. But like I said, like you described it earlier. You said it's like listening music and not like turn up music.
Yeah.
And that's the music that I like. I like to listen as a listener experience because it's like audio art at that time. I like to see what Kanye's or what any artist like it's like you can hear what their paintbrush would look like, right? So it's like their version of their art, so you can hear what their version of their art sounds like. Is the best way I could describe it for someone that doesn't take sounds as art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'd say this album took me the longest to listen to out of like most albums, at least within the last like 2 years. It probably took me like 3 or 4 days fully to like listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But like the entire time I listened to it, all I could see was like a movie. Like it sounded like a movie soundtrack. It sounded like there needed to be so much visual stuff happening while that was happening. Like
I've heard people
wait, real quick.
So, go
his
ahead.
tour, his show of this is going to be incredible. Like listening to it, I was getting goosebumps at different parts, but I was never like, fuck yeah, this shit's gonna bang. Like I can't wait to hit this in the club. Like it felt like it was part of this big theatrical like event, but all I was doing was hearing.
So let me explain this.
It felt incomplete.
It was all part of his like marketing plan. I feel like he had like such a big grasp around like what he wanted to do. It was all art. So basically, he's doing these live events where he's having 3 different versions of the albums and 3 different essentially plays. It's like, I hate to say this, but it's like Romeo Juliet play, right? He's putting on a play with the music as the background. And he's having these artists come just improv, walk around, and you're watching them.
That's what I'm
saying. And they're not singing, but they're
gonna...
saying that. And it's basically like a live music video is what he's been doing.
That, like, and when I listened to it, that's what I could see the whole time. I was like, okay, I see why it's this whole process and not just an album.
And if
it's just an album, to me, it doesn't get through to people.
You know what I think is really cool too? He didn't do any visual anything for this album. It literally doesn't have a cover art. It's a blank thing. So he just like the only visual thing you have with this album is the merch and the shows that he did. So I think that's what maybe he wanted to do to let you think about it how you wanted to think about it. And so maybe that's why your mind wanders like and starts thinking about, oh, it's like a play, it's like a show.
Well, like literally listening through the whole thing, it sounded like a movie soundtrack. Like it sounded like an entire
like journey,
like an entire message, an entire journey, an entire like story from start to finish, and it has its rise and its falls, and it's like do you know what the Donda chant is about?
Yeah, I saw that it was his mom's like last few heartbeats.
Yeah, it's at the pace and like the beat of his mom's last few heartbeats before she died. Like that's pretty cool. At first I was like, what the fuck is this dumb shit? Then when I listened back to it, knowing that, I was like, damn, holy shit. I was like, Donda. Donda, 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 Donda.
It's creepy. Like I was in the house, like listening to it. I was like, oh, that's weird. Then once I knew about it, I was like, oh shit. And that's how the album opened.
Word Donda is kind of like a heartbeat, like doom, doom.
Yeah. And that's his mother's name.
Doom,
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Donda was his mother's name, and she passed a few years ago, like 2000, probably 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
I believe right before he made My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which he hates, but he says like he made that through the pain, if I'm not mistaken, of his mother dying and all that shit. And this is like, there's a bunch of interviews of his mom like always saying like you a great son. Like you said, you were
Yeah.
gonna be great, and you great, and all this stuff. So she's like the only person that believed in him in
That
his
hyped
life.
him up, yeah.
And so it's
that's
like,
why he has a lot of things that are
yeah, like
shot at his mom.
imagine like you're an artist, or anyone. Imagine you lose your mom, like, or I lose my mom. Like I'm gonna do anything in the world I can to like relay the message of how beautiful she was, how like helpful she was, all this stuff. Specifically, because like my mom was the only person that really raised me.
That's what you're saying. So you have a lot of respect.
Yeah,
and you feel like you have to give back that
absolutely
that moment. Yeah, which is good.
I wanted to talk about though a few things. Wrap up from what we talked about last week. Then we can call it because you're ready to call it. I had a few more topics I wanted to hit on.
Wait, with the Donda stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you feel like Kanye's kind of having like a midlife crisis and like he's trying to refine himself again with the last 2 albums being like church albums and like I think he split from Kim. He's going back to like talking about the times he's had with his mom.
Did
and
you
like
see that they got back together?
Oh, did they?
So people are saying that it was all like a big rollout, that he split and he let himself on fire and all this stuff. He's born again, so he's redoing his marriage. The last place they did the event, the third time, someone came out in like a white veil like thing, and they had like a little ceremony, and that was Kim in that white veil.
Oh, really?
And then so like they're saying that this was all a rollout. Like their relationship is born new. He lit himself on fire. He's born new, and he's born again, which is crazy. And he legally filed to change his name to Ye.
Yeah, I saw that. That's cool, actually.
To leave like Kanye behind.
Yeah, to leave Kanye and just be
He's become
left with Ye. That's cool, but like, imagine having to live a life of a theatrical. Like, I feel like his life is a movie. Like it never stops, but he creates it like that. He wants it to be the movie.
His mind is too crazy for most people to really understand. I don't like it's really a beautiful thing, and I feel like I
just don't know what his motive is. Like, is he just trying to gain power and money and stuff?
No, I think it's all
or
art.
Is he just...
Well, he talks about in his music, he wants his kids to be set. Yeah. Like, so he became a billionaire purely off that strength of like setting the West name as a huge like name going forward in the American timeline. Because think about it, like we talk about like Rockefellers and all these big names that came out. What is it? The most streamed artist in one day? Yeah. Over 2021. It's like the third of all time, and then the first of 2021. The most streams in one day.
Most streamed album in a day.
But
that's pretty good.
People were mad that he brought like all these people out, like the baby and all that stuff. But actually, did you see that? Like, so this is the first time I've ever seen this. Like, social media canceled the baby, and then all like the stuff he said, like the homophobic shit he said, and like all this stuff, like slurring people, like talking bad information about like HIV and AIDS and all this stuff. A bunch of organizations, like 9 organizations, have met with him to teach him the right things to do. A whole bunch of things. Yeah, and so like this is the first time I've seen somebody like admit that, like, yeah, I fucked up and it was wrong. But he doubled down on a lot of shit. So like people are mad about it, and he was like, nah, like I knew what the fuck I said. Like y'all just not used to people being real. All this shit.
I think we're just at a fine crossroad. Like people want to be nice and they want to be self-aware and they want to like take care of the issue and not create it more. But at the same time, like, people want to enjoy themselves and like they remember how life used to be, and we could just fucking clown and people could have a good time, and like everything wasn't taken as such a literal like thing. Like
this loops back to the beginning of the episode.
Like,
I mean, maybe he's just from that time.
But to me, that's any sort of like self-awareness and trying to improve what you did, or just even saying like, sorry, I did this wrong. To me, that's a step in the right direction. And like, to me, like, let's be honest, our rappers in our culture are probably the worst influence, and the people that are going to say the worst things or whatever, just based off of the culture that they lie in and what they like advertise to. And if we have rappers that are saying bad shit and then can go behind and say, look, I fucked up, I'm sorry, I'm gonna improve. To me, like, that's pretty good progress as a society. If we can get our worst,
I think that triggers like a thought of mine that like I always feel like, here's some advice. Here's some helpful life advice. I feel like everyone should make this is something. Always remember like to make your own opinions about people for yourself. Yeah. Like, cause like shit spreads around, people say things, but like you don't know like the real message of the real person unless you make your own opinion of that person yourself, right? You can like listen the same thing with him. Like maybe like the whole internet just spun him to be a bad person, but maybe if he's meeting with all these people, he's actually a decent person, you know what I'm saying? But I've also seen him do some fucked up shit on camera, and like everyone, I don't know. I don't want to defend him because like we've seen him like do some fucked up shit, like he like smacked some women like in the crowd, and then like did a bunch of shit. But it's like,
but I think the part of having like
he's killed someone too, like for like. For,
oh damn! Sheesh.
It was in self-defense, but it's
sure
like
most people did.
Yeah, it's self-defense, but I don't want to like. I don't know. It's hard to like. I don't want to like die on the baby hill. I don't want to be like I'll support him no matter what. Like I don't.
Well, that's good. You shouldn't ever.
Yeah.
Nothing should ever be
a definite. You should never stand anyone.
Unconditional. Yeah. I guess everything should have conditional. Like just this is I think what we said in the first podcast. I said I don't believe in unconditional love because there's always conditions. You should always try to be a good person, and as soon as you're not a good person, I'm going to let you know that you're not a good person. And the fact that you were a good person before doesn't make up for the fact that you're a bad person right now. Like, I'm going to constantly judge you to be a better person and to get better and to, you know what I'm saying? Like, better yourself. Like, just because you were good then doesn't make up for you being bad now. Yeah. Like, you always are under the radar. And I think that's important. You shouldn't get to just be let off because of things you had in the past. And I think that comes down to like
but you also
the white privilege shit.
But you should also like have the ability to change as well.
Well, yeah, but we should always try to change. You shouldn't ever be content
and like
with where
I
you
hate
are.
The whole idea is like people never change. I hate that mentality. People are like, oh, you did this in your past, so like this is how you are forever. Like people don't give people the benefit of the doubt, and I can't stand that shit.
I believe that you're a different person every 7 years. Every 7 years, you turn into a completely different person.
7 years? Why specifically 7?
I don't know. I just heard that number
Yeah.
when I was younger from some scientist or something. They were saying about every 7 years.
5 would make sense to me, but 7 seems oddly
No,
specific.
I think 7 is like so good.
Is that
like,
why dogs age in 7 years?
Well, it's just like, think of who you were when you were a 14-year-old.
That was a gold mine that he missed. But
wait, what were you saying?
No. I'm just gonna leave it in there.
All right. Think of who you were as a 14-year-old versus a 21-year-old. Like, I was not at all the same person. I might have kind of had the same traits and this and that, but you changed big time. Or from 18 to 25. Yeah. You're a very different person.
25 is just a completely different person of who I am.
So, like, 23 to 30, like, you're going to be a very different person.
Yeah.
You know, like...
7 years makes sense. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it's a weird,
oddly specific number, but...
I try to think of it too all the time. Like I try to think to where was I 7 years ago from here? And I was like, damn, like I didn't even have the same views. Like 7 years ago, I didn't have the views on like veganism or caring about the world and this and that. Let's see. I had just graduated college. I was probably, I was a lot more selfish about stuff. I was just like in the mindset of, okay, I just have to get my degree. Yeah. Just get, probably like just finish my first year or something. You know what I'm saying? It's just a very selfish mindset. Just, I didn't look the same way. I didn't have the same values. I didn't have the same values in who I was looking for in a person, much less who I was looking for in myself.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah, what?
Did you see yourself where you are now 7 years ago?
No.
And are you happy with where you are now versus where you thought you were going to be?
I think I had a higher set goal for where I wanted to be in terms of like normalized success. Like I wanted to have my degree and have my big boy job and be making this amount of money by then, but I didn't think I would be as good of a person as I am mentally. I didn't think I would be as selfish. I didn't think I would have like done this diet for this long and changed my perspective about all these different things and been as cultured and changed the complete way like my political views have been and like where I've been raised. And you know what I'm saying? So I think I've grown in a direction that I look down towards, like mentally or like.
Maybe that's
but it's good.
Damn. So like, I'm thinking of the asshole you are now. The asshole you must have been then was like way worse because that was in that time period like where you didn't talk to us for a few years. I feel like for 2 years you kind of went off and did your own thing. Same time I was doing my own thing, and. Damn, you must have been like a menace to society.
No, I wouldn't say bad. It's just like
low self-aware, probably less self-aware.
Way less self-aware, but just a lot more ignorant into like
the world
fact of like how I affect people.
Yeah.
No, like I just.
Oh, you mean specifically you?
Yeah, like I was a lot more ignorant in the fact of like how my actions affect people and how my impact on the world is and how like I thought it was a lot more insignificant than what I am. Like we're hella insignificant, but we can do a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You're way less insignificant when you
affect
that.
And influence nearly everything around you that you come in contact with.
Exactly. And like
people don't realize
that and like it's a I don't know. But also I tend to live in the moment, and I tend to just try to enjoy myself.
And that's the thing. As many ways as people go through life, I don't think there's one right way. I don't think there's the perfect way. I think it's you take all these things and you make your own concoction of how you move through life, whether that's in the moment, planning super far ahead, doing all these things like laissez-faire lifestyle, like just be chill. I don't think there's one right way. I think there's definitely wrong ways to live your life, but I don't think there's a right way. You know what I'm saying?
We don't know. None of us live the same life.
Exactly.
So it's so fucking hard.
It has a path for everyone. And I think as long as you take what you're given and try and make a decent bit of success for yourself out of it and be sustainable, then you're doing life right.
Yeah.
And that's what I think it's an important message is like everyone has a different path. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to this. Like you're always looking at other people and like disappointed that you're not where they are, with vice versa. Everyone has that stigma or that mentality, but it's like life is like an amusement park, right? And then everyone has their own rides and their own fears they have to conquer. And within that amusement park, and your struggles aren't really applicable to anyone else's struggles.
Yeah.
So like
exactly.
Somebody told me the other day, it was actually Ben told me that like the worst thing that's ever happened to you is literally the worst thing that has ever happened to you. You cannot take that and compare it to someone else's. So like if someone says like, like my arm, like I got shot in the arm, but then you like, well,
I got shot in the arm too, and that's not the worst thing that happened
you could
to
be
me.
like, my dad got shot, now he's dead, like whatever. Like I'm not saying specifically, and then you can't compare it to them because they have no knowledge of what it's like to lose their father. So getting shot in the arm is literally the worst thing that they have ever been through.
Yeah,
and it's just as strong as what you feel as if you were to lose your father or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
The worst is the worst. It's always
the worst is the worst.
Bottom.
Exactly. Yeah. It's always a peak. And then like a way that I kind of remember this, and I was just having this conversation with Nikki the other day. I was just like, it's nice to, once you move past the problem, to look back on your last problem and see how small it is and insignificant is to your life now. So like I've got this future problem of moving, and I've been like thinking about it and dwelling on it. I'm like, damn, this is so big. But then like I think back to some of like the most recent like problems like I've overcome, like financial instability, COVID, like failed relationships, all that stuff. And they're like, or like living situations, maybe not even like that last part, but just like how insignificant they are, even though they were the biggest things in the world to me at the time, how insignificant they are to me now versus like, so this next step is going to be that insignificant one day. And as long as like I keep doing that, like life's going to be okay, man.
I think
it's the steps.
Yeah. The way you were, saying that, I think that's how I try to mitigate anxiety. I try to look at each issue like it can't be worse than the last issue. Or like you're saying like, oh bro, I gotta move, I gotta do all this and that. You've moved before. Why you can't do it this time?
It's not that. Like, I've got so much shit.
I try to simplify it that much in my brain. I try to just make it like, instead of overthinking of how I'm going to do it, I'm just gonna wake up and just do it. Like I'm not gonna think about it. I'm not gonna plan. I'm gonna wake up and just perform. I think
that's because anxiety doesn't really have a pure existence as much as it does for other people in your world. I think you experience 100%. Very, very 100%.
But I think I experience so little because I don't put myself in a situation where it can fester. Like I don't think about things. I don't I procrastinate, but I'm not sitting there procrastinating, worrying about the issue. What I do is I'm just like, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Oh, this needs to be done in an hour. Bam, get it done.
You know what? I think that might be a key sign of depression is procrastinating.
Yeah.
You're procrastinating a lot in your life and letting it just happen as it comes to happen. And maybe I'm not saying you're depressed because that's a strong thing to put on someone. But whenever I'm like very strongly depressed, I want to sleep everything away. I want things to happen as they're just naturally supposed to happen, and I don't want to plan anything. When I'm happy and I'm at my happiest and I'm not depressed state, I'm making big plans, future plans, because I have a goal line, I have a set path of what I need to do next and all these things. And it's
I guess I have a goal. Like I know where I'm aiming
at. Specifically, let me clarify that. I'm applying what I know for myself for you, and that could be wrong.
Well, no, like I guess like the way I'm seeing, I try to narrow it down is in the sense of I know the target I got to get to. I have that figured out in my head. I'm not gonna worry about the path to get there. I'm just gonna I'm not gonna worry about okay, I have these 5 paths. Okay, do I this path, this path, this path? I'm gonna get there and be like, this looks like the best path. Go. Intuition. So just let intuition take over and just I
see it as.
But I'm a performer. I perform well in the moment.
Under pressure,
I can perform well under pressure. But you tell me like to practice 3 times before I do it. I can't do it. Like I can't. My practice swing's tragic. And then when I hit the ball, that motherfucker's flying down the
So the way I see something is I see the start and I see the end, and then I see every small obstacle along the way that I have to overcome to get to the end. So like right
step
now,
1, step 2, step 3.
So like moving is not the issue. It's all the things in between it. Like I have to move this couch, and then I have to buy a new couch, and then I have to get a washer and dryer, and then I have to get all new plates, and I have to do all that stuff. You know, laundry. It
adds up. Yeah.
I have to get all this stuff, and money's not necessarily the problem because that's already figured out. But it's like, it's just all that stuff that I have to do, and then I have to find time to do that between working and all that stuff. And it's like that's what like makes my mind go crazy. And then like we got the podcast, which we're gonna keep bringing to y'all. Hopefully every week. Every week. This has been the official, what has it been today? Mental health podcast, basically.
Yeah.
But you ready to go. I got 2 more topics to burn through. Just 2. And then we're going to wrap this up and have a good night. I wanted to tell you 2 things to wrap this up so we can be not consistent, but it correlates back to the last podcast. I can't think of the word right now. Fluid, maybe. We fixed OnlyFans.
We fixed it?
Well, not specifically we, but I mean like the people, right? The power of the people have declared that, you know.
I think literally it was 3 hours after we finished the episode.
After we wrapped it up.
We were editing, going through it, looking on it. We start scrolling on social media, and then we see that
we both sent it to each other. We're like, bruh.
OnlyFans went back on their decision to ban all
temporarily. It's not official yet, but it's officially happening. They extended everything.
I thought they went completely back on their stance to get rid of all the porn.
I could be wrong. I'm not that educated in this one.
Yeah,
but to my knowledge, it's just like a temporary thing, and like it could change. But I'm pretty sure like it was basically like all like a lot of celebrities, a lot of people with a lot of draw power and willpower are on that website, and people have become celebrities from them. They're like, oh, y'all don't want to do this? We're gonna take all of our people.
Yeah, and
we're gonna go do MyStar, Tiger's program or whatever, a new app. There's so many things, Pocket Friend and all this shit. We're gonna go somewhere else. It's a bunch of websites.
Some crazy like names, Pocket Friend. That sounds like such a like loner jerk off app. Like,
you saying it's an incel app?
Just like Pocket Friend. What are you doing on your phone? I'm just talking to my pocket friend. Hey.
Why do they call it a pocket pussy then?
Because it's small enough to fit in your pocket.
Well, your friends are small enough to put in your phone.
Well, it's in your phone, pocket. So you bring it around with you. That's what I'm saying. You little pocket friend. Like you couldn't get real life friends because you get a pocket.
The dudes and the girls be on there having people convinced that pay for it that they dating them.
True.
Like dudes and chicks be messaging people, "Hey baby, I was thinking about you so much today. Hey daddy, I was thinking about you today."
$20.
Or hey mommy.
Yeah, $20 and you can see me eat this banana.
But I'm not mad at it. I'm just like
I'm jealous.
No. I'm not jealous or mad at anything. Like I said, we support sex workers, right?
Oh yeah, but I want my bag. But I'm not trying to throw my ass on the internet either.
But it's also fun to critique people's work, just like anything else. So y'all welcome to critique our work. Our work sucks.
Well, no. What's good about it is we can openly talk about sex workers like we couldn't do 10 years ago. Who the fuck talked about pornography and stuff like that and sex workers, and like it wasn't a normal socialized thing to talk about. Like gay 20 years ago, nobody talked about like if you were gay or not. Like if you were gay and you went eat at the families, like nobody talked about it. Like we pretended you were straight and like they got you makeup for Christmas even though like you never used it or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they got you this and that, and even though you were gay, which is shh. But now like you can talk about it. 10 years ago, you didn't talk about stuff like that. I
remember
now,
how big it was when they passed the legislature for same-sex marriage, actually. My nanny, for like fact, she was able to actually like, I think maybe I may be mixing it up, but like before that was legal, like they would have to just have ceremonies and like, you know, like married, but you're not legally married, even though like this ceremony married you, and we would all go to it. Like the whole family went to it and like had a big wedding. I was in the wedding and shit like that, but I don't know if it actually meant anything.
No, it didn't mean anything to the state.
To the state, and that's fucked up. But like now that all that stuff's passed, it's like great.
Yeah, which is good. Which like, it's crazy how much like fight and effort we have to go through in this damn country to get shit changed. And as soon as we get shit changed, people act like it wasn't a big deal. Like we had to go through so much crazy shit for gay marriage, and then gay marriage happened, and it's just a fucking normal thing that people are just like, oh yeah.
And then people
like, it didn't change anything. And then look at the weed thing. Weed, like it took forever for anyone to legalize weed because it was this crazy bad thing. They legalized weed. Motherfuckers just made money off of it, and life continued like normal. Nothing changed.
I think here's the
Like,
problem with a lot of people. I feel like they're either way too conservative or way too liberal. I think like the best people that I agree with most take like things from both parts, right? Because like you don't want to be super liberal with every idea that someone comes through. Every idea that goes through Congress might not be a good idea. You want to hold some traditional values because you want to hold on to what the United States is and what has worked.
Yeah.
But then you also don't want to be like just stuck in those ways. You want some new innovative shit to think. You want some new ideas.
Look at this. If telegraph worked, why we got new phones?
Because something better came around.
Because it's better.
Better idea,
exactly.
better technology.
Better idea. Slavery worked. Why we don't do that nowadays? Because there's a better idea.
Those are so easily provable things when it comes to this. It's beliefs. Like Texas, where they're like about to pass like banning of abortions, like all together, some crazy legislature where it's like
it's crazy.
It's so stupid to me, but it's like it makes sense why people believe that because it's ideologies instead of physical things.
Yeah,
and it's like so stupid because like I don't even want. We're not getting back into COVID and politics today. We're wrapping this up. We got one more thing for y'all because Zane's ready to go and we've been going 40 minutes past his ready to go time. Did you see that TikTok has banned the crate challenge?
Yeah, that's good though. Too many people are getting hurt.
We were just talking about motherfuckers falling, busting their backs, blowing their backs
had
out.
to ban it. One of the 3 challenges ever banned.
What was the other challenge?
The other 2
Look
were...
them up because I don't know what they are. Real quick. Because it's an important topic to talk about, which is crazy because we were just talking about, I was like, yo, like, I don't think that this shit's safe. The same thing happened with the ivermectin shit too. That is like, I guess it was kind of early on that because social media digest. We started like hearing some bubbles things about it. Now it's like national news. Like people are taking fucking horse dewormer and shit like that. And hey, whatever you want to put in your body is what you want to put in your body. I don't give a damn.
All I'm seeing is milk crate challenge stuff.
There was something else too. There was 2 other challenges. Maybe y'all tell us in the comments. There was 2 other challenges that TikTok has banned. But basically, they're like choosing like they're deleting videos. They're shadow banning accounts. They're not allowing the hashtags to actually work. All these things, and that's good because motherfuckers don't need to be with a broke back in the hospital and suffering from COVID.
I just don't.
But you know what I liked about it? Like, let me tell you this. You know what I liked about it? People are like, I don't get it. It was so stupid. It reminds me of a simpler time of the internet when we would do shit like planking.
The ALS bucket challenge.
No, but like planking.
But
son,
planking
you remember how
was
stupid
so
planking was?
Brad, I want to plank right now. I want to plank right now.
You want to plank up here?
Just fucking...
That was huge, crazy. Dude. But that's what it reminds me of that. Like
I miss planking so bad, bro.
You think planking? Yeah, that's Gen Z. I got something for you. Bring planking back. That's the TikTok trend.
Or Spider-Manning.
No, that was like our
Batmaning. No, it was Batmaning.
That was all those things after, but planking was the original. Yeah, like planking was the OG. We tried to make our own even one time. It was thinking. We were like stand like this. And we had a Facebook page. I'll try and link it if I can find it. Us and a bunch of the homies from back in the day. But
it doesn't say anymore.
Whatever, they banned it. But it reminds me of a simpler time of the internet where we were just having fun and just enjoying it all. But also it was the ignorant time. It was around the same time when we were saying all that crazy shit all at the same time. Like 2009 to 2013.
Bruh. You know what it is? You know what's changed with the internet?
We are.
Well, yeah, but you know it's changed so big. Like I think.
Let me tell you. Let me break down another generational topic. I think the internet revolves around millennials. I think we are shaping it.
Well, yeah.
As we are growing, we are shaping the internet.
But that's because like
it's ours.
We're the target audience.
No, but like we are getting to the point where we're old enough to go work for the internet people and steer it in our direction.
It, so we're actually the ones that are getting the positions to work on all these social media platforms and all these different.
So the internet is a reflection of the millennial mindset.
Well, yeah, but I think the internet used to be a fun outlet for entertainment, and now it's a business. Because now it's a way to make money off everything.
And now we're getting to the point where we realize.
And just like 15 years ago, or like 2005, or like when Justin Bieber was on YouTube, or all these people are on YouTube, and all these people are on all this internet. Like the internet was just for fun. Like it was just to watch videos, to see crazy shit. The
only people that were monetizing anything was musicians or artists.
It wasn't really anything like being sold or all these advertisements and stuff. And now the internet is a business. The internet is the biggest business. Like,
but it's important because people should recognize their worth, their platform.
But because of that, like businesses have a
is that why everything's algorithm based now?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, but that's just because like they just want to make as much money off of you, so they're gonna.
What was that
show you.
documentary that came out that like freaked everyone's mind out because they had not even the simplest idea that this happened?
Was it the whole stuff with Facebook?
Yes,
and stuff? Like all the algorithm type shit.
Yeah, I forget what it was called. We had to look it up. But I watched it and I was like, yeah, this is nothing I didn't know. And people were freaking the fuck out and scared about it.
Well, people don't realize how much the government actually like
not
sees
even
of
the
everything.
government, but just corporations that tie in with the government. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I wanted to see what is it called? I wanted to get the name of it. The Social Dilemma. That's what it was. To wrap things up, I wanted to have that complete
Social
thought.
dilemma.
The Social Dilemma.
The
Social Dilemma.
Put the lemon in the coconut.
All right, it's time to wrap things up because Zane's out of here. But the Social Dilemma. You got anything? Anything for the people? The YouTube people, the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter. What you got?
Nothing too much.
This has been a pretty emotional podcast. Not an emotional, but like an introspective.
Yeah, and I mean they kind of
mental health podcast more than anything. We didn't jump through many topics, and that's what we are saying. That we're still figuring it all out. But
let's say let me just give them a little overview of what's to come. I'd say the next month we're gonna probably have a few more of the same podcasts. Me and Lane trying to figure out our flow, what we like, what y'all like, what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna try to get a new set up,
which is all involved around me moving,
Yep.
and dedicating a room in the house for a podcast set instead of my living room, which is dope. But I don't like having this shit all over my living room. I've got lights and
once we get that set up, then we're gonna start bringing some of y'all on, seeing what kind of perspectives y'all have,
and
what
the
kind of projects y'all are interested in, or what y'all have going on, and just kind of flow ideas, like.
And in a moment of transparency too, like the big thing is right now, I want to have people on and we want to talk to people because like it's nice to just get other people's opinions. And you were talking, it'd be a good idea to just have like people our age discuss topics that are important to us.
Yeah, I think it would be very awesome to
like nurses or just like whatever, people like doing small businesses and shit.
Because like we're all young, but we're all young working adults now. We're all at the part where we all found our profession, pretty much, give or take. And it's just we've never got to hear the perspective of young working adults in all these different fields all over the place.
It's weird to think that like we're part of like the blue collar things now. But
in the next 10 years, we are going to be the people that run this town, like we're going to be the people that own everything and like are the managers of everywhere and are the owners.
To bring it back, the main problem is right now is like I said, we both want to have people on here and just talk about different things, but I don't have enough space in my house. Like my house is only like 650 square feet. It's an apartment. It's tiny. I got loud neighbors, like y'all heard us looking over there. So the next place would be good. It'd be better. It'll have a dedicated space. Me and Zane will hopefully actually be neighbors.
Yeah.
Be dope. We'll either hate each other or love each other.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes. But anyway, any other closing thoughts?
No, I think that'd be it. Y'all be safe, guys. Thank y'all so much again. If you listened all the way to this point, we love you. We do appreciate you.
Type Dusty Cheeto in the comments if you made it to this far.
Dusty Cheeto. All right.
Dusty Cheeto, just off the dome right
Dusty
there.
Cheeto.
Always remember closing thoughts. What it is, what it isn't, what it could be.
What it could be. Okay.
Thanks again for tuning in to, what is it?
We love y'all guys. Zane N Lane, episode 4. We see y'all in another week. Otherwise, y'all be safe. Good luck with everything. Hopefully another hurricane doesn't come through in the next week.
Damn, that's the crazy thing. We got another one to look at. Yes, there's another one coming.
Oh my God.
So episode 4 was fun. You ready for more?
Yeah. All right. We love y'all. Peace.
Peace, y'all.